3, 2, 1. And come on, let's wave. Welcome to the VAbE, the podcast, or the VAbE experience. And boom, we're live. So, how are you guys tonight? I guess everyone's been really lovely and sexy. And we begin our 5th episode of the podcast, wherein we're having very great personalities within the room with us. So, AB Chan.
What a busy day.
Very
Very eventful day. Very eventful day.
Indeed. And I've got Ro. Oh, no, we're missing on Ro. We've got Varun here with us. Varun,
Hello, everybody. Yeah.
that's the one. So, yeah.
I just had a
it.
coffee, so let it kick in. I'll be, give me a bit. I'll start jumping in the room, okay, and create some chaos.
Probably the caffeine is
If you
much
need time
required
to
at this VR.
start off, I need time to start off. So I think it's gonna be a monologue by Virat.
Wow. So that's going to be something for you guys. But for all you ladies who've been complaining that Virat doesn't speak much.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Seriously?
Oh yeah. So there has been very.
I mean, the host doesn't speak much.
Yeah. That's been a consistent feedback.
So
that,
who the fuck has been speaking so much?
I need to invite all
Why
of
are
these
your eyes
ladies when
looking
I
at
edit
me?
the podcast because all they can hear is Virat.
Oh my holy child! But yeah, keeping everything aside and all the banter at the right places, I guess tonight we're gonna speak something really important. Something which has been on the social media of lately quite. I mean, I came across to it on the social media, although I did know about that as a concept as such. I mean, it does make sense, right? So let's kind of try to create something out here with regards to a very simple topic, maybe simple or probably difficult. I'll leave that for the listeners. So here it goes. Hard times make strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. And the circle goes on. So you feeling me somewhere? It's more about trying to sort of address this issue wherein why do people get complacent, or perhaps what is that conducive environment which a person might just need to sort of grow or perhaps be the best version of himself or herself. And yeah, that's the podcast for today. And I think since I've been burdened with the monologue as such, so let me try and share my 2 satoshis on this. Yeah, so I mean I'm crypto bullish, so I'm not going 2 cents. I'm going 2 satoshis. So here's my 2 satoshis here. Let's just say that each one of us have been maybe blessed or probably say coming from a situation which has really sort of created that right environment, right? So they as they say, I mean the diamond is always created in the most amount of pressure, or smoother seas never created the strongest sailors, and even the strongest of the iron has to be going through a lot of heat to be the strongest metal that they are. uh, I mean, with that being said, uh, it is very easy for a human, is what I feel, to take things for granted. So, be it success, be it money coming in, be it, say, support as such. I mean, to quote certain of my examples as such, probably I'm the 3rd generation out here, maybe going through not the most toughest of the times, but certainly tough enough to sort of make me feel that, I need to pull up my socks somewhere and sort of start off with getting work done, right? So probably the opportunities weren't presenting itself at certain given point of time, or maybe I was a bit blind on it. Maybe I was coming from a different perspective. But then if I see from an overall perspective, my grandpa came from a very hard time as such. He came to Mumbai with barely the typical story, right? Barely any money. He came to Mumbai and he set up his whole empire. And after which it created an easy time for his kin, his children as such. Valued, not valued, I won't comment on that. But then again, that led to create a tough for me, who is the third generation in line out here. So not the toughest, but definitely something very difficult. Uh, so that environment which was created, it is either fight or flight over there. So you might just sort of come across a particular crossroad, saying that, you know what, either you pull up your socks, put in the work, get shit done, or you actually see yourself die another death every single fucking day. It's hard, it's difficult. uh, I wouldn't say it was the easiest. I wouldn't say I've reached somewhere as well, but then I've come to terms with the fact that I mean, there are certain things which are absolutely beyond my control, and I am definitely not going to spare a single neuron of mine behind things which are absolutely beyond my control. So what I am trying to build here is myself, uh, trying to live in the moment, trying to not just sort of put in the work, but even enjoy the little moments that I have, uh, and sort of try and lead the life towards where I want to be. I wouldn't say where exactly I want to be per se, because I think there is a larger plan uh, for every one of us, and I mean that's just my belief system. But I mean, yeah, that's the two satoshis which I had. But then again, I mean, at workplaces, maybe. I know. I mean, I guess we're just warming up out here. Let me give you a scenario.
All right.
So let's just say you're hired as the first member of a particular team. Okay, there's no one before you, and certainly there is no legacy or perhaps certain ancestral property as accounts or sales accounts which have been provided for you, or sales lead which has been provided for you. You have
So
to create.
starting from scratch.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what you're
absolutely.
saying.
From perhaps the foundation, not even ground zero, maybe say something below the ground as well. You need to sort of start off, and 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 maybe you create something out there. Perhaps the management was, so again, I'm saying perhaps because this is completely a hypothetical situation. Uh, I have been sort of in that situation, but then yep, I'll share my inputs maybe later. But if you are in a similar situation wherein now the management is saying that, you know what, we cannot wait because your efforts are not bearing the fruit at the time that we want. So we are planning to shut your operations as such, and probably bring in someone else who might be quote unquote more uh, uh, better than you as an individual. What do you do? What do you see? Maybe there this might be some sort of a rant from my side as well, but then yeah.
So what I've experienced firsthand is not to the like my what I've experienced is not as grave as what you've asked
Yeah.
for. Basically, terminating me from the organization. But you and I both worked for an organization, right?
Mhm.
Where we were in IT sales. We were
Yep.
selling apps to those restaurant owners. So what I often came across was I spent 2 months, or let's say I spend a month in an area
Mm.
trying to educate the restaurant owners
Mm.
to convince them, why this app is better for you.
Mm.
Why cutting down on Zomato saves you a lot of money in
Mm.
commissions,
Mm.
right? So I spend a month priming these owners,
Mm.
educating them.
Mm.
And then what happens is, what I've experienced, two things is what I've experienced is, let's say the owner is now enlightened towards the idea that yes, this is a good thing.
Mm.
Like being a restaurant owner, I need orders within 5-6 kilometer range
Mm.
max.
Mm.
The immediate customers that I need. They don't need customers like a Chembur restaurant doesn't need orders from Navi Mumbai, Vashi, Nerul
Mm.
to survive, right?
Mm.
They need in their immediate vicinity.
Mm.
So
So that the
now,
food is delivered fresh and everything. Yeah, I get it.
exactly.
Mm.
And now what happens is, now that the owner is convinced,
Mm.
they look up our company profile.
Mm.
Like, this company is so and so old,
Mm.
doesn't look that sophisticated.
Mm.
Now what the owner does is Google where he can find similar services.
Yeah.
Then probably he might come across a company bigger than us,
Mm.
right? I won't say better because I've not worked there,
Mm.
but someone who looks more
Yeah.
branded. So
Yep.
basically, I'm educating those owners only to be taken away by those competitors. And
yeah.
secondly, what happens is, what I've personally come across is, let's say I spend a month priming these owners, trying to educate them, and there's a lot of follow up that requires.
100%.
The turnaround time is pretty high in this case. And then the founder of the company feels that I'm not effective, let's say in Lokhandwala area, right? I spent 2 months there. That Abhishek, you're not effective there. We'll have to change your location.
Yeah.
And even if you're not, and again, if you're not effective in that new location, then we'll have to look for alternatives.
Yeah.
The guy who replaces me starts closing shit.
Exactly. But
So,
till how long is my question to you?
as in,
So till how long will he be able to close it with ease?
see, what happens is, I cannot say how long with ease, but the adoption rate increases automatically. These owners are all connected, right? In a way,
Yep.
if 3 restaurant owners make their own app, the 4th one is compelled to.
Agreed.
FOMO. And who gets the benefit?
Right.
The one leading that area, right? The one closing the deals in that area, the sales guy, the sales manager. So they'll run a long way, actually. The start is always slow.
So a similar situation where I was in, we started off a team. I mean, the groundwork, everything from bottom up, got the work in, created sales as well. I mean, proof of concept, right? We created that, and when it came to sort of fruition, that's when the team got disbanded. There was a new guy who was hired to sort of look at things, and to certain extent with the new order coming in, yep, there was a lot of leverage which he received. We could see that, but later to certain extent, that kind of success got to his head is what I was trying to say, and he perhaps didn't see it coming, or maybe he was too blinded by the initial success. I mean, and that was a very short run, maybe perhaps a 2-3 month of success is what he received, after which there was active amount of pipeline generation from a sales standpoint. I mean, creating a sales lead structure generation which was involved, which he couldn't really work upon as well. So perhaps his skill sets were good when it came to sort of leading, pardon me, using the leads which are coming in. But in terms of creating something new, maybe the complacency got to him. And when it gets to you, I'm not sure how will you be able to even get out of it, because then maybe not maybe definitely in a year's time the whole team was completely dissolved. So there was no practice as such that we were doing.
So first they got disbanded and then it was dissolved.
Then completely dissolved, right? So to a certain extent, I mean, the whole belief is also required that you need to give it time, but then that's a separate conversation for a separate day. But in the light of the current topic, if I have to see, it was easy for him to get in a headspace of being very complacent. That what I have. So in the exact numbers, 55 accounts coming in. So that's a large number for that particular SaaS, because the sales cycle was slow as well.
But it's huge.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. But I mean, it took him 3-4 months to digest the whole thing, and after which there was absolutely no pipeline. So all the sales folks listening maybe might be understanding this as a concept, but if I have to just break it down to a 3-year-old, it is easy to get complacent in a easy environment. You like I was saying, you tend to take things for granted so quickly that, I mean, it's not even funny. So yeah, I guess that's where I'm at as of now. But maybe anything you experienced in terms of um, workplace, or perhaps anything in your life where tough times actually helped you become what you are, or you could have said that maybe you had that conversation with yourself that had this thing been easy for me, maybe I wouldn't have valued it.
I feel deprivation leads to a lot of good things in life.
Mm.
I've had difficulty coming to terms with the fact that we are not rich. like growing up as a kid, by my peers, like my other friends from the school were able to go to a annual school trip, 5-6 days ka, whatever it used to happen. Kids used to go to Shimla, and we were taken to Rishikesh. So, but then I feel it's not living in denial came first. Like, I was always told that, like how I was brought up in a way was to live with the fact, to live in the present, to accept your circumstances, adjust, because why stress so much about things you don't have? Why, what's the point in stressing? Even after you've stressed for a day, you still don't have it, right? So I used to believe in that. But then again, like, now I feel I'm good at it. Like, I don't mind stressing over things, because that leads to a correction in my path, the actions that I can take. But you'll have to ask me again.
Yeah,
man.
so that's
So
that
sorry.
same question, right? I mean, had you received it easy?
No, I've not.
No, you haven't. But
Yeah.
let's just do a thought experiment. Had you received it easy, what would your thoughts be? How would you learn to
I
deal with it?
think it's very easy to for me to say, like, had I received it easy, I wouldn't have come this far. I don't believe in that. I feel I would have still done something on my own always, because it's like I never. I mean, even if my dad had $1 million, like Karodpati, had he been very rich, I still don't believe, like, I like my money to be mine. Like, even growing up, if there were restrictions, like, let's say a toy, let's say a football that my parents brought, and let's say in the evening I used to go play football, right? So at times I used to give my football away, and they were like, why are you sharing? I had to ask for everything, and that was annoying. So growing up, I did not know that my parents were not rich. I'm talking about second, third, fourth standard. At that time, I was not that capable of determining the possession of wealth by my parents. Because I was getting almost everything, right?
Okay.
Because as a kid, what would I demand? A bike? No. I was getting almost everything, right? My education was proper. Clothing was good. We used to celebrate all festivals. So it all. So basically, what I saw a pattern in my parents was they didn't allow me to share, or let's say they didn't allow me to act on my own, and that's what got imbibed in me, that because they bought me this, I now have to follow their lead. Like, I have to follow their instructions, right? Every gift that I got came with a manual
and an obligation, kind of.
Yeah, obviously, because what I was going to do, leave the house. So actually, it hit me, and I always hated that. So that was the first time I realized, like, I felt key. So I actually didn't like whenever I'm like, I'm stopped from doing something good,
Being
because
answerable to anything.
yeah, I actually didn't like that. Why do I have to say, like, let's say I lost my pen, then I lost the pen. What's the point in justifying? Like, and what's the point in, like, repeating that I'll be careful again, only to lose it again? Why do I have to keep on saying, like, like, let's say I always used to, till date, I keep forgetting umbrellas.
Oh yeah.
Every rainy season, I keep forgetting umbrellas, and
that's just not you alone.
So my mom always used to, like, say, like, why can't you be careful? So exactly, the day I started purchasing my own, the manual stopped coming. There was no obligation. I could do anything. I could throw it out, burn it, keep losing, keep buying every day. So basically, I didn't like being answered to. I didn't like being asked. So again, if my family was rich, I would have still done something else on my own. I'm not a graduate till date. I probably would have been a graduate had my family been rich. I would have done fashion designing from some
Nice.
New York, or what do you call it? Best of the
Milan.
best. Yeah, Milan. Why not?
Mm.
But then that won't change anything. I till
sure?
date don't. Yeah, absolutely. I don't accept their money.
Mm.
Now that I know that they have decent amount of money, but I still don't feel like it. Because again, like, what's the point in being answerable to? So, I mean, this is what I honestly feel. Like, things wouldn't have changed. Like, I still would have done something on my own. So, the actions that I take are not conventional, are not what people normally say, oh, yes, this is the right thing that you did. No, all my actions have been like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, have you lost your mind? So, this is how my actions have been, because ultimately, the manual comes where I accept it. It's written by me. It's changed by me as per my own convenience. So again, I'm answerable only to myself, and that is what I find comfort in, and nothing else.
No. Okay. So maybe one last question to you. You might have come across this quote, right? I may be born poor, but I might not die poor. Or maybe the whole choice of being poor.
I used to say, like in Hindi, maybe one day I got very frustrated. So I was telling, like, when I was born, only my family could cheer, because no one else gave a fuck about it, right? Apart from my family and my dad's friends, like whoever, right? But when I die, I want everyone to cry. I want to touch as many people's life as possible.
Wow.
So I don't want to die a nobody. I just don't want to. I have not figured it yet, but obviously it has to do a lot with wealth, and fame comes in complementary with absolute wealth. So I just don't want to. I want to be a very renowned person. I want to be influential, and I want to use it, like, in a very good manner.
But now just try and join the whole dots here. How is tough times going to help you do this? You think? Does it have any silver lining?
So I believe tough times are what kept me on foot always. Tough times. So again, in a way, it's quite easy. Like, it's comforting to know that you have something to fall back on, right? Like,
Maybe.
let's say I'm doing something on my own. Given the fact that my family is very wealthy, I mean, assume a scenario. I fuck up. All I have to do is just get to the feet of my father, my family, beg for mercy, or apologize for the shit I've done, and be absorbed again in the family's riches, right? So, in a way, everything dissolves. So, tough times, like my current situation is, my family is not wealthy. So, they've always kept me on toes.
Yeah.
Like I said, my family has certain riches. I mean, now, like, I value money, so I know, like, even a few lakhs is very good, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But then again, it doesn't excite me because it's nowhere close to it. It will never be a catalyst.
I'll stop you there. You valuing money, is it coming from a place of lack at a given point of time?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
An absolute
that's
certainty.
exactly what I'm trying to address out here. And I want you to kind of maybe try and dwell a bit upon it. Or it's
Come again then.
So you valuing money, has it been from a position of lack is why you actually started valuing money, or something on those lines? Maybe even the statement.
Let me clarify. When I say I value money, and I believe when you say valuing money, we both have different beliefs.
No. So that's exactly what I'm trying to address here, right? So when you didn't have it, is when you realize that it has value, or is it the other way?
To move ahead. Yes, to continuously be in a position to take risk.
Agreed. So that's one aspect. The second aspect is when you mentioned that when I want to die, I want people to actually give a damn about it.
Yeah,
maybe,
like how awesome would it be? I want
Yeah.
to see it through.
So
Obviously, I won't be able to see it through, but at least in my 60s, I want to be like, why can't we have more Ratan Tatas?
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I mean, Elon Musk is fancy,
hmm,
but one day I was just thinking, of lately I've been thinking like I admire Elon Musk
hmm,
so much because he's
hmm,
so vocal about
hmm,
shit.
hmm.
You know, Ratan
But
Tata himself is not that bad. I mean, we admire a lot of people admire him, obviously.
but then again, all these people have actually seen the worst of the times, right? To
Yeah.
to to reach to where they are. So possibly the value of success to them, or value of things, is way more than we can fathom. So probably for, say, some rich guy's son, or
See, I think they don't value things more.
mm,
They would value the process as long as they have that process in them.
yeah,
So by process, I mean the ability to be able to, like, the ability to start from scratch is what has to be valued
yeah,
entirely.
yep.
I mean, I do not value the positions that I have. I was careless then, I'm careless now. But then as long, what I value is the core. I mean, the foundation that I've built for myself.
So
If, if I were to lose all the money,
mm,
like 5-6 years back, or even like 3 years back,
mm,
it would make me feel sad, but it won't destroy my confidence. But now that
because
I have money, now that I've seen
yeah,
money, now it's like I stay unaffected actually.
so since you've seen the worst times,
Yes.
maybe,
Not
God
just
forbid,
seen,
mm,
I've seen it through. I've
yeah, yeah,
overcome worse
done,
times.
100%.
So that's how I feel ki worst times are just exaggeration
Mm,
of a person's mind.
okay,
You when you're in, yeah, tell me.
I get it. Matlab, I'm not stealing away your thunder, but my question was going to be that worst time. If you had to again see it, will it be as difficult, or how will it be?
No, it won't be difficult.
Exactly,
It
exactly,
won't be. It can
exactly
never
my
be.
point. Exactly my point, right? So the whole system that you are creating, like you just said, that valuing the process, valuing money, valuing probably relationships, come from a standpoint that you actually couldn't control the fact that you didn't have it.
Yeah.
So let me repeat that for everyone. Maybe you guys can rewind, but still I'll repeat it. You are valuing certain things on a fact that you couldn't control having it back then. So, for instance, there was this one video which I was seeing, um, uh, and it spoke about this fact that I mean, it was about dating, of course. So,
Of
why,
course,
of
huh?
course, yeah, for sure. So, what it said was, being available for someone is good, but then they stop valuing you. So you need to gift, now, beautifully worded. You need to gift them the power of missing you.
Oh wow. Build scarcity, huh?
Kind of. I mean,
So it's beautifully
yeah, yeah.
framed.
So till the time they don't miss you, perhaps they don't value you as such. So I'm not saying that you just go AWOL and you just run away as such, but you actually keep yourself busy in other things as well. You cannot make anyone else the center. We are getting into a different conversation altogether, but then I mean, you get it, right? So in terms of valuing certain things, so I could value my family more when I was away from them for a good 4 years. I mean, I realized their importance in my life, that not just from a emotional support standpoint, but from a day to day standpoint, that things are much easier when I'm at home compared to when I'm on my own taking care of things, and perhaps maybe money would have played a better role over there. But still, I mean, in terms of even to speak to someone, or even to sort of get back home to someone, I mean, that's much required, and that is when you realize the actual value when you're away from this overall situation. So again, to sum up,
So when you're away from your regular comfort.
you could say that. So if you have kind of an abundance, you stop caring about the finer problems which you already which before you used to care more about. For example, that losing 500 rupees in poker would have been much more pinchful earlier, and right now it isn't.
Correct. But then again, even
Your
like
risk
back
taking
in the past, like
becomes
my risk taking appetite has always been high
Yeah.
because like I was once told I'm
no. So
money illiterate.
so that's an individual level, I would
Correct.
say.
But it was never devastating actually because it never stopped me, right?
No, so at an individual level, I will say, but from a personal standpoint, I mean, back then losing 500 was a big deal. Right now, losing 500 maybe not as much because maybe I'm doing better off.
So again, I don't value money, right?
Not as much, but yeah. So why? I mean, a very
Good detour. Huh?
a nice detour per se. But again, coming back, I guess this topic actually uh, spread like a small fire within us three while we were just sitting outside. When Varun actually came up with this, and I guess he's been sitting idle, bichara, he's been waiting for something to speak, but we weren't really.
I made
hogged the
sure
mic.
his coffee kicked in good.
Yeah. I think the effect
So he has the surplus.
the effect
energy.
has worn off by now.
Guys,
Yeah.
get some coffee. No, all right. But again, so the book you were mentioning of,
Mm.
what about it? I mean, how was that book written? I mean, are you done with that book as such, or are you still sort of reading it?
No, I've read it like
Yeah.
1.5 times, I think.
Wow.
I keep revisiting certain
Superb.
aspects of it. So
Hmm.
there was this speaker
Yeah.
personality, and he was a real estate guru turned life coach / masculinity coach,
Okay.
and
Okay.
by the name of Stefan Arnio. He's not with us anymore, sadly.
Hmm.
Great dude. Like you can look Stefan Arnio up on YouTube, and he's written quite a few books, but the one that really caught on my interest was Hard Times Create Strong Men.
Yeah.
And he wrote this book when he was running like a real estate firm or some corporate office, right?
Hmm.
And he disappeared to go to the Amazon in the woods, and he was sick with some cancer and all.
Okay.
So he was taking like the alternative route to healing,
Okay.
like the naturopath way.
Hmm.
So he was spending time in the Amazonian jungle, doing natural therapy and whatnot.
Hmm.
And he was gone for months. So his employees really got super angry and said, you're the person who's disappearing for a few months, and we're the ones sitting doing the hard work and blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
So he came back and he wrote like a big sort of an instruction manual to straighten these employees up. Okay. Hey, you guys need to stop your whining.
Hmm.
And I'm the boss. I'm the one who got the company so far, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
Stop your whining. Do the work instead. Focus your energy on doing the work rather than pinpointing
Yeah.
this
So
thing out,
he
right?
created an easy time for these guys, is it?
No. So
Okay.
I'm telling you how the book came to be.
Okay.
So he wrote this, whatever instruction manual, whatever this was.
Mm.
And then he said, okay, why don't I title it something? There was some 1100 pages or something.
Wow.
And he condensed it down to the book, which is Hard Times Create Strong Men.
Wow.
So he wanted to give them, a whole knowledge of what's happening, according to him.
Mm.
So as you mentioned in the beginning, before we steered off on
Oh,
this massive full trip to Hinjewadi. Anyway, we'll come back to that later. So the
Hmm.
yeah, it sounds good, right?
perhaps
Absolutely.
Yeah.
phase 3. Yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Sakti said we'll come back to you later. So the preface of the book is
Hmm.
life happens in cycles, and
Okay.
everything else also is happening in cycles. So there's
Hmm.
the 20-year-old cycle for each of these. So like how you said, hard times create strong men.
Hmm.
Strong men create good times.
Hmm.
Good times create weak men,
Hmm.
and weak men create hard times.
Hard times.
And then there you're back to square one.
Correct.
So it's this 20-year-old cycle. If you like, he referenced the Western world in that.
Hmm.
So 40s to 60s is your hard times.
Yeah.
People fighting the world wars and Vietnam wars and Korean wars, and
Yeah.
it's the war era is what we call it. So that thing, and then you lead up into the 60s to the 80s, which is what we call, quote unquote, the boomer generation. Yeah. So 60s to 80s is
Mm.
the good times,
Yeah.
which created the weak men, which what they call is like from the eight. Now see, now these eras don't have to be precise.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got 80s to 2000s being the weak generation,
Okay.
to now being the hard times are here now. You've got
Mm.
inflation coming up to a record high. You've got
Pandemic and what
money
else? Yeah.
printing and
Mm.
everything.
Mm.
So 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 that sort of a thing, which has resulted to hard times. Now
Mm.
we are right now in that cycle where hard times are going to create strong men. So it's actually, the book was to say that, hey, you guys, the baton is in your hands. Now it's you guys who bring us back to
Glory.
the hard times, which needs to create the strong men. So it's
Yeah.
actually,
Yep.
as a like a 20 or a 30-year-old, a person in your 20s and 30s and even late teens for that matter,
Mm.
you need to have that fire under your ass to go out and, like, do things in the world.
Yeah.
Get this, the whole society, the whole world back to the whole, the hard times create strong men. So you need to
Back in
become
order.
strong men. Yeah. Back in order. So from all this chaos, you need to, resort back to order. You need to like fight your way through no matter what.
Right.
And arrive there. Okay. So this is what the whole book is about. It had some lot of like mathematical data, as in, like, even if you look at it today, let me bring you back to the whole topic, which is the boomer generation, like the people above, say, 40-ish, possess pretty much like 70 to 80% of the wealth right now in the world.
Okay.
Everyone else is under that. So the generation that we are all in possesses very little wealth. And this wasn't the same like 50 years back, by the way.
Oh.
Okay. So that's the thing. Like, all these people who back in the day they had their money sorted. Even like I was telling you when we were having dinner, even a small factory job could pay off for a good house with a white picket fence, 3 kids going to school, and the whole deal, with a nice pension fund and blah blah blah. You live happily ever after, sort of a thing. Is that the case right now? No.
Oh, hell no.
Okay. Times have massively changed. I mean, the surroundings around you are a result of what's happened in the past, how the world has shaped itself onto coming right now. Real estate is in an all-time, like, high.
Yeah.
Okay. To buy a house, say like 40 years back, was a different story. To buy a house now is a completely different story.
Absolutely.
Right? So so all these factors are, sort of listed in that book. Like, people give up too easily in general. That's the grit is sort of gone, is what that author, like, he's basically trying to kick your ass and get you to, say that, hey, soldier, come on.
But that really hit me when you said, right? I mean, people give up too easy.
Yeah, I mean,
so damn true, man.
we've all been guilty of that.
Yeah,
okay?
I wouldn't.
I think we are in the generation of mental health.
Yeah, I mean, see, in it, all due respect to people who are
We
struggling
don't
with it,
entertain
right?
stress.
Yeah,
Correct. So we start giving notions to and these terminologies to things which feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying mental health is one of them, but we start
Giving it
terming
more power.
Yeah, we start terming it. We start giving them these fancy names and this and that, and all we really need to do is buckle up, get out of bed, stop being lazy, get some sun, get some exercise, blah blah blah. Do our work, which all of this wraps up into a bundle which gives you satisfaction and happiness and like completeness in life.
Perhaps even smaller measurable goals.
Exactly.
as such.
Yeah.
I mean, just those, even getting out of your bed at the right time, if that boosts you, why not try that?
Aim low and hit. Is it?
Maybe to begin with, at least get in the groove.
I mean, growing up, like a lot of times I used to come across where people used to say aim high and miss. Right?
I don't think that's the similar concept as such. I mean, sure, to a certain extent, but I would still say it is better than nothing.
Like Step Set Go is actually Zahir Khan is promoting aim low and hit.
Aim low and hit. Okay.
बड़े बड़े गोल रख के ना करने से अच्छा है छोटे छोटे गोल रख के अचीव कर लो.
Rather,
वैसा. So that also
goal
shapes your
ना रख
mindset,
के-
right? That
Rather-
also shapes your mindset.
So it's even better than not having goals and not doing anything also about it.
So that's what I mean. People find comfort.
Hmm.
So that's how the comparison is. Ki I'm at least an achiever
In
Compared
something small
to-
as such. Yeah.
exactly, rather than being nobody. I'm at least doing something, na.
Hmm.
So that also has a domino effect on a lot of things.
True, and certain level of addiction as well to it, right? That you're trying
What
to,
is complacency?
correct. No, so addiction in both ways. I mean, the opposite of
No,
madness
always
is
setting
madness
the
itself.
bar low
Yeah.
and achieving it.
Hmm.
I see it outright complacent.
No, so that has to be balanced out, right? I mean, at a given point of time, when I know that I have the power to sort of change myself, I start doing the smaller things which add to a larger goal. So I see it from that standpoint. So, for example, if I have to lose weight, I don't lose 10 kgs in a week. I lose 10 kgs in 3 months. The smaller steps that I take towards it. So,
But then
Am I-
just imagine, I mean, let's say you counsel a guy who's younger to you,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
You just come across someone like you just met him for the first and last time. And you put in this thought that like, rather than aiming for something which is rather impossible,
Hmm.
why don't you set some small goals?
no,
So how many people, how many among us have this awakening?
no,
like,
so I will only do
Let
it.
me start off with smaller ones and achieve, and
No,
then
no, no.
gradually I'll increase.
No. Rather, I'll do it the other way. First, I'll ask him to have a larger goal. If he's unable to move himself to reach maybe somewhere close by, then I will ask him to, at least have a smaller set of achievable goals, right? So, I mean, that's how I would approach a problem statement. Because, sure, I will definitely need a vision to reach somewhere, but then complacency definitely cannot set in then that you've set a goal and you're just sitting like that. It doesn't make any sense. at
How
all.
many, like, now though we're working from home, but then just go back to 2019
Yeah.
and 20.
Hmm.
Like we just had 2 months of 2020,
Yeah.
right?
Jan and
Pre-COVID
Feb.
area.
Yeah.
So, all right, just try to remember 2019.
Hmm.
And because that was the time which is quite latest where we were encountering a lot of people. There was human one-to-one interaction a lot.
Yeah.
How many people do you remember were not complacent in life? In your eyes, the set of eyes that you have now,
Hmm.
the opinions that have been formed as of today, use those lens and try to think of the people. So I'm asking you to judge those people.
So if you tell me in terms of the percentage, I would say 15 to 20% would be the people who weren't complacent. Rest of them, I would say that to maybe at one given point of time or the other, they've actually. I mean, now that's my personal.
No, it's okay. It's
perspective
okay.
that
It's okay.
they've been chilling. Probably I was one of them.
That's still fine. So again, and look at our age. So this is tenured complacency. Doesn't go away easy.
No. That it doesn't. Definitely. But I mean, somewhere you need to, like you said, right? Somewhere you need to put yourself out there and push yourself also to a larger goal too. So I wouldn't say that, you need to completely rely on smaller goals. I wouldn't also say you need to completely rely on larger goals. Maybe having a healthy balance of it, or
Balance again is an illusion.
oh no, come on, you couldn't say that to our title. It's a part of our title. VABE. You illusionist.
See, basically,
No,
balance cannot be attained, or balance should not be hoped for in all facets of life.
why not?
One could hope for, but then again, that holds no value in a way. Now, again, this is what we are trying to achieve, right? But how far we are from achieving it? Work-life balance. How far are we?
Very.
So balance is what we want to achieve. That is what VABE is also about.
Correct.
But then again, let's get down to the facts. I mean, are we close to achieving balance? 10 years from now, would we be close to achieving balance? Absolutely not. Balance is something like, yes, it's a to-do list. Why not? But then again,
Maybe it's a perspective for another podcast. But still getting back to where Varun actually left us
Yeah.
thinking in terms of how people aren't really willing to put the work in.
Yeah, I think now they have a fire under their ass. Okay, so see, I'm bringing the very red pill sort of a perspective on this.
Perfect.
We're talking about the fire on the hill,
Okay.
which is in sight right now.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're seeing hardcore hyperinflation almost
Oh, yeah.
set up.
Mhm.
60% of the US dollar in circulation
Yeah.
was printed last year.
Correct.
Are you effing kidding me? Oh, we can swear on this podcast, right?
Yeah,
Fuck.
absolutely.
absolutely.
Cool. So are you fucking kidding me? 60% of the US money was printed last year. The national debt of every country is at an all-time high.
Yep.
Things are not looking good for the times that are about to come. Go look up your inflation rates in every country. And you will see like it's a fucking it's a massacre. And those are modest numbers, okay?
Okay.
The numbers that you get on these, these government websites is these are like modest numbers. They don't want to show ki
Scare the fuck out of you.
exactly. Okay. And it's the generation that gets the most scared is your near retirees and retirees, because
They know what it is.
they know what it is, and they can see that the inflation is pretty much going to eat up into the money that they're probably getting in savings or in pension or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the real picture, the fire up on the hill, and we're standing right at the base of the hill right now. We need to do something about it. And who are the people who are benefiting from hyperinflation and all this is the people who already have assets. Can be anything.
Yep.
Okay, because the value of your existing asset simultaneously goes up.
Correct.
As hyperinflation or any sort of inflation unfolds. So if you have real estate, obviously it's worth more.
Yeah.
If you have luxury cars, obviously they're worth more. Okay, if you have like a commercial real estate, it's worth more. Gold, silver, precious metals are worth more.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, the second the money printer goes brrr, automatically your precious metals will start gaining value.
Ray Dalio, was he the guy who...
Ray Dalio was the stock market genius. Yeah,
So
Wall Street.
He was talking about that, right? I mean, every dollar which used to be early on, I'm talking about 1930s
Right.
and all,
Yeah.
used to be printed against a similar value of gold. So people
Yes.
would typically come in and sort of exchange that dollar for gold.
Correct.
As a part of asset. So when you just said that, it actually
So
literally
yeah,
did.
so that was the case till 1971.
Correct. And
When Nixon took off the gold standard, took US off the gold
the
standard.
gold standard.
And you can look,
became
I
the
mean, we
reserve
can,
currency.
you can signal up to all our favorite books actually. Signal up to Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor
Yeah.
Dad, where Robert Kiyosaki mentions he was a fighter pilot in Vietnam in 71.
Yes,
He flew on the other side of the Viet Cong border to buy gold. He's like,
Robert.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was
not aware
he was flying helicopters.
Ah.
Okay, fighter helicopter. So he was in Vietnam during the war, and all of that thing. So just to buy gold, he's crossing
he's
into
flying,
behind
yeah.
enemy lines and stuff like that. And I think they confiscated. He tells the story, way
Yeah,
better
it's-
than
it's
me.
there in this book, yeah.
So you guys, listeners, you guys can look it up. So here's the thing. So from 1971, it became the norm that anytime we go through a boom and bust cycle, we can print more money.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve prints more money, and that's how you deal with the economic
Current
crisis.
problem
Yeah.
Right.
So right now you're seeing that at an all-time high.
But then the problem is at a shorter term perspective, that is still okay. Longer term, you're fucked. In
So
ways you can't
when
imagine.
60% of your currency in circulation is printed in the last 2 years, my friend, you're a little more than fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, go look up the M1 stock. That's the amount of money printing. M1 or M2, I think. It's M1. Look at the M1 stock. You'll hear every finance person, YouTuber, celebrity, anyone who's written books. You can see Robert Kiyosaki talk about the same thing. You can see Doug Casey talk about the same thing. He wrote a book called Crisis Investing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another great resource that people can read. So So all you'll see Ray Dalio, you'll see who's the Wolf of Wall Street guy? What's his name? No. Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort.
Belfort, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So my friend needs a coffee here. Come on. Iced Americano, please.
Absolutely.
so Jordan Belfort and these are just to name a few. I can name George Gammon runs this page called the Red Pill Economist or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll see all these people signaling to this thing where they're talking about, hey, what the big government is doing is not in the favor of your common man. Your average Joe is getting completely shammed and minced, okay, into this massacre. Because I mean, that's the word that they use. That this is an outright massacre. If they continue with this, it's gonna be very, very bad. Because you can't, your earnings can't keep up with the inflation that's coming. The money that you're earning is not going to be coherent to the times that you're living in. It's not going to be enough. Your earnings need to go up.
So somewhere, I mean,
hold on. So here's the fight where we are in the hard times right now, and to become strong men, the fire under your ass needs to be such that you need to earn, and you need to earn it fast, man. Because the thing is, the people who already have assets, they have the big stock market, they have the big houses, commercial real estates, people who already have big assets, okay, say your boomers who accumulated it in the past, that generation, the good times generation, right? So they already have it. Who doesn't have it is
us.
Is this current generation, you know? So we to level up the fight, or even have any sort of standing point in this playing field, okay, you need to earn it, and you need to earn it fast. Okay, hence you see so many hyper growth startups and people trying their ass off to. There's trillions of dollars flying out in the air. All you need to do is, create a good service or a product, anything like that, so that it's currency flow.
Yep.
All you need to do is direct some to your end.
Correct.
So this is what we need to do. So what I'm trying to talk is, anyone who's hearing this, you need to grab the book first of all, maybe, and realize that there should be that fire under your ass, that you need to get ahead in the race, and you need to do it fast.
So how big a wake-up call do you need is the question out here.
Yeah, I mean, the lockdowns were the wake-up call enough. So many, like I was telling you the other day, I think this was in January, we were all sitting having a cup of coffee or whatever. And I told you, did you notice one thing, that in the last 2 years, 3 years, the conversations that this entire group of friends used to have has completely changed into what pretty much led to this podcast.
Yeah. So what we see as a podcast, as we see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. So I guess what I was trying to really put in here is definitely you need to put in the work, but you need to put in the smarter work somewhere where you are not just putting in the harder bit, but even doing the right things at the right time. Because the way I see it, I think accumulating assets is the biggest thing that we are actually, it's the biggest challenge per se.
We're missing out on.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, the assets perhaps might just be not just land or anything of that sort, but definitely tangible fixed assets is what we are talking about. What I'm talking about, let me be frank out here. So Ray Dalio, that video I'll share with you both for sure. Beautiful one where he says the only way to curb this inflation which is due is going to own assets in different forms. Perhaps real estate, that's one. Gold is the second. Third one he mentions of is commodities. So your crude, steel, and blah blah blahs.
Correct.
Owning them is going to definitely help you get by. How sooner can you do it?
Now you tell me
yesterday,
which
perhaps.
you tell me which 30-year-old has a diversified portfolio similar to the one that you mentioned.
30-year-old knows what is diversified portfolio.
So right.
Yeah.
So you need, I mean, okay, now you're hitting a bigger.
And again, how many 30-year-olds have a portfolio?
And how many 30-year-olds give a fuck about the portfolio?
Actually,
Yeah. So yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
wake-up
But
call
then,
which
but then
I'm trying to
again, I
call
mean,
out.
I'm
This is- there
just
needs to-
just
you
try
need
to
a-
address this
yeah.
question of
Yeah, yeah.
mine. So
Hmm.
commodities again can be possessed virtually, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It cannot be possessed
You cannot
offline.
hold steel
you
at your
can
home.
buy
These are not
steel
tangible, right?
stocks, lumber
Stocks, yeah.
stocks.
But then again,
you know?
if everything goes to shit, in a way, like, are you guys also suggesting, like, as per the theory, like even banks will go to shit?
Well, you remember
So
2008?
how do you cash out then? Let's say your gold, virtual gold, has shot up
Hmm.
150x.
Hmm.
Commodities shot up 100x,
Hmm.
or even 10x, 50x for that matter.
Hmm.
The banks have gone to the
So-
dogs.
so
How do
banks
you
is-
cash out?
So banks is different, right? I mean, when you talk about trading, it is a trading account and not a bank account.
Oh, so in India,
Hmm.
Zerodha
Yeah.
puts money in your bank.
Hmm.
How do you take money from Zerodha or any trading account?
So whatever bank
Through a
survives is what we actually are
Open
left.
an account on.
Yeah, man.
But
I
that
mean-
is also
No,
to be
you will
addressed
be
actually.
in a very,
There's no
very
clarity.
hopeless situation at
Yeah,
that point.
that- so-
There's no absolute clarity in a way.
So
All
even
this while, like,
liquidity.
I've invested in crypto.
Hmm.
All right. I just, like, with all this Ukraine and Russia war happening,
Hmm.
like, let's say it increases even further,
Hmm.
fucks our economy.
Hmm.
So when the economy gets fucked, even the banks will get fucked.
Hmm.
And somehow I have this weird, maybe
Notion.
I'm being hopeful, or maybe I want it. So where would these filthy rich people put their money in? Because even the stocks are going dead.
So-
I feel crypto would pose a good invitation and an opportunity. But then again,
Hmm.
let's say my crypto portfolio shoots up 100x, 1000x.
Hmm.
It's a very normal scenario in crypto world, right?
Hmm.
1000x is like
Nothing.
still doable.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a very big thing, but
Hmm.
there have been series of
People have
tokens,
done it. Hmm.
a series of examples where they have
Hmm.
shot up even 10,000x.
Hmm.
So what then? Where do I cash out? Do I again use it to buy pizzas?
So funny enough, I mean, crypto is holding value to as a what do you call it? A fiat currency.
Fiat currency. Yeah.
Yeah. So crypto is holding a value of fiat currency. I'm not sure that you can actually trade your Bitcoin for a pizza or something of that sort at that particular point of time.
No, again, it's like even it was not
No, let's
convertible,
talk
right?
about let's talk about cashing out. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Cashing out is my
So-
concern.
Yeah.
yeah, so as long as banks stay the gatekeeper,
Hmm.
you have a problem.
Definitely.
Okay.
So that's where crypto came in.
That's the birth of crypto. Yes,
exactly 100%.
So
Decentralization.
let's circle around for a bit.
Hmm.
Anyone who's into crypto, do you even know why it was created? It was created to tackle the central banking boom and bust cycle. It was a philosophical change in people's thinking,
Right.
which led to the usage of, I don't know why they had to call it cryptocurrency, because crypto means death.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, they could have come up with a better name. Come on, man.
Hmm.
Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever you
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah.
CIA probably. I don't know. I don't know.
Elon Musk.
Okay. Could be anyone. So, or the NSA, by the way. Okay, now let's not let it turn
Yeah.
into a conspiracy podcast.
Okay.
Although I would love to do that
Maybe someday.
someday. One conspiracy VAbE session. Anyway, coming
That-
back to the topic. So,
Yeah, I'm noting it
so to
down.
cash out, what you probably would be doing is holding everything converted into USDT.
Yeah.
Selling it off in a
You're not trying
peer-to-peer
to
market.
understand.
Hmm.
The
Even in peer-to-peer transaction,
It's the banks.
Absolutely.
it has to come through the bank.
Absolutely.
So
man.
you're screwed there, bro.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, even now,
But again,
if
okay,
I were
I'll
to
tell you
hope,
one
if,
thing.
if my one wish were to be true, and if this is it,
Hmm.
I still don't benefit because
Yeah.
the banks are bust.
Banks are bust. Correct. So what you have to do in that case is just how the free market, so quote unquote, the free market gave you Bitcoin.
Hmm.
The free market will come up with a
Correct.
solution.
Absolutely.
These
This is good.
challenges will
Okay.
create
These
opportunities.
challenges, it'll be further hard times creating further strong men. Hey, we're back to the
Absolutely.
topic, right?
Correct.
So-
correct.
But if you
The free
see,
market will give you a
just
solution.
in the past 30 odd minutes, we came to a conclusion that this can be a potential problem. So definitely there are stronger minds who are working in the crypto.
Correct. It's just
Safe as
that
well.
launching it today won't make sense.
Yeah.
Because of the presence of the banks. But
Hmm.
the day they go bust, probably
Now, what's
there
going
would
to
be a
happen?
lot
I'll
of
tell you.
No.
If banks were to collapse and if the government has no answers for it,
Hmm.
you're looking at a wide scale revolution
Catastrophe.
sort of an event where people, there's going to be riots in the street level.
100%.
Right? You're talking that. Okay, so if the government doesn't give a solution for that, it's going to be massacres.
Yep.
That's one scenario. The second scenario is the free market will come up with a solution. That's one way that you could deal with a total bank blackout scenario. And the third thing could be then at that moment, USDT or USDC or Bitcoin becomes the currency for the time.
So that
Very
becomes the
possible.
reserve.
Very possible.
100%.
Okay.
So the whole idea of Bitcoin was to imitate gold.
Yeah.
If you understand how gold functions, you have limited availability of gold on this face of earth.
It's a store of value.
Correct. No. Hang on. Store of value at a separate thing. But in terms of gold availability, there is limited. Mother Earth can give you only so much amount of gold. We haven't really measured it, but probably we've mined almost all of it. So on a similar note, Bitcoin was created to imitate gold. Now, if you understand how the currencies used to work, was that if you have this much, say maybe 10 tons of gold, the dollar value of that gold is the amount of currency that you can print at your end. So to a certain extent, that is how the centralization was typically working. Now with the crypto coming into whole scenario, the whole innate need for decentralization took place. And maybe the dependency on contracts, smarter contracts, became way more important than being dependent on someone who is sitting at the head of a particular quote unquote banking system. So maybe that's where we are coming at a bit diversion, but then the listeners definitely should know that times are not easy as of now. Times won't be easy for a good amount of time. I mean, more power to anyone who's dealing with a lot of mental health issues. I used to be one of them. But I guess you need to somewhere, for lack of better words, drag yourself to start doing things out there. Pull yourself out of the bed, go to the gym, don't even lift weights. Probably just touch the door and come back. Maybe day one could be that sort of an achievement. Open that book about crypto, study, read, know what is going on. Sure, there are a lot of channels and news channels and media which is talking about stuff which you don't really want to hear about. Those are important, but then you just need to understand how they are going to affect you as an individual. If it is affecting you as an individual, you should know. If it doesn't, please stay out of it, is what my 2 cents would, 2 Satoshis would be. But then again, being complacent in your tough times, I don't think there is any need for being so relaxed at any given point of time in your life, right?
Yeah.
When will I get to retire? When will I get to have that pension? What is retirement? I mean, I just don't get it.
Man, I mean, the world which we were raised to live in no longer exists.
100% it does.
Okay. So there are consequences now for sitting on your ass.
Absolutely. So you're planning.
So I love it when you said, just go to the gym. I mean, you're talking about self-development, going internally and
100%.
completely transforming yourself into this strong man that you're going to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
But tell me this, Varun. I mean, retirement. This was, I guess, Jordan Peterson itself who was talking about this. The plan of that old fellow to retire was to go to some Caribbean island and maybe sip margaritas. How many fucking margaritas are you planning to sip? For how long are you planning to sip that?
Yeah.
You'll die of over alcoholic overdose or probably something of that sort.
I believe if you've been a workaholic for a majority part of your working life, there's no retirement in your mind. I mean, you would not want to.
That's a different perspective. But people are working towards retirement. I want to retire early. I want to have a chill life. Sure. But
so again, like that has not come to
don't
fruition.
You hear these stories of these great entrepreneurs who try to retire at when they're 33 or 35.
Correct.
And they do the whole sipping Mai Tais and margaritas at a Caribbean beach.
Yep.
And 6 months of that, and they realize, oh man, what am I doing?
Exactly.
And they return back with double the fire under their ass. No, I want to do something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe. You know what I would do? Set up a margarita company.
Play in the gaps. Jidhar gap, wahi startup. बिल्कुल. But I mean, sure, you need to reach to a goal wherein uh, I would say that health is taken care of, people around you is kind of sort of taken care of, and you're trying to put in good back into the system, and have that beautiful what do you say, uh, burial, or that that system where you're going away. You're leaving behind certain legacies, and not taking your riches with you. You're creating those riches as you go, in terms of people, in terms of relationships, in terms of things that money cannot buy. So for this, I feel being complacent and in a place where you think that it is going to fall on your lap, uh, I got news for you. That's not how it is going to work.
Never has.
Be it relationships, you need to put in the work. Family, mother, father, sister, daughter, dog. You need to put in the work.
As long as you want it, you have to put in the effort,
100%.
basically.
100%. If you want to be a recluse, more power to you. No problems with that as well. I mean, it's a personal choice.
It shouldn't be that you're lazy, so you start cutting down on.
No, so giving that as an excuse that I am such type of a person,
I don't
that's
need
maybe-
this.
because I'm
Internally, I know I'm lazy. That's why I eliminated it. But
that's
then again,
stupid.
absolutely.
I call that absolutely stupid. You're not lazy. I mean, you're just sulking away and fucking running away from responsibilities. That's it.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys would have seen, like, in the last 20 years, you've got such a high surge for entrepreneurship. Okay.
Yep.
People have kind of lot of the people, the younger generation, we've steered away from that typical the government job mentality.
Oh, yeah,
Although I mean, I don't want to diss it, put it down. I mean, we can say all work is necessary, right?
Yep.
So, but they're kind of realized that they've run away from the corporate ladder structure. They've run away from the government job sector, and they want to put in their life energy into being creative and into developing a business.
100%.
Okay, giving their best shot at some sort of entrepreneurial venture. And you've seen a lot of them come through. You've seen so much media coverage into it. You've got Shark Tank. Now you have the Indian version, which I haven't seen an episode of, by the way.
No, but if you see the US or even the Australian versions, amazing.
Yeah.
They've done a terrific job.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
inspired looking at it.
Yeah, for sure. So, and you read these success stories, like you read the Everything Store, which is Amazon's autobiography, or you read what is that, the Nike guys, I keep forgetting the name, man. Shit. So anyway, so you read about it, you hear about it, and so many people have taken that jump into entrepreneurship. That kind of shows me a ray of hope that, hey, people are trying to put in the work and come out strong the other side, and that's going to be your next generation of hard times. Get through. You've received your strong men.
Right. But how many % are doing this?
It's always been less. It's we say we have the 80-20 rule.
Correct.
Okay, the 20. I'm saying it's 90. It's the 10% of that 20% now.
Wow.
So you've got 98% people, sort of not out there fully through the other end, and you've got these 2% of the people,
right,
who have made it. Okay, and it's interesting. It correlates, or what do you say, overlaps with the success rate of the businesses also.
Yeah.
2% of the businesses ever into functionality sustain through really a couple of decades, and 98% of the businesses fail, or not. I'm not saying fail as in they shut down. They transform, jump into, get acquired by whatever. Okay, you can sum it up under that umbrella. So it's I mean, we don't want to be a doom and gloom podcast, okay?
No,
but we want to be those people who want to give you that ray of hope, ray of light, some action.
But it's a wake up call, the way I see it.
Massively. You should be hearing this wake up call right now. I mean, the horns are blaringly loud.
Yep.
The writing is on the wall. There's the fire up the hill. However many poetic justifications you want to put on it, but it's coming, man. It's all you need to do is keep your eyes open and listen to the people who are financially very, very literate, like Robert Kiyosaki being one, and just see like how these people came through and what are the current people doing.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's from there it's R&D, and R&D is not research and development, it's rip off and duplicate. Okay. So you're trying to
Okay.
you know, come up with your fight now.
Yep.
Okay, the fight is against you. So this is what I'm trying to say, this is what Stephen Arni was trying to say in that book, is you need to bring your fight. You don't need to be that soft person who's going to avoid conflict and, oh, how can we sort this out, blah blah blah. No, it's you need to be the dangerous man who's going to bring up the fight. And I'm not talking physical confrontation right now. It's it's you versus the world.
True. So you need to arm yourself with the right ammunitions and the right arsenals.
Educate yourself, be aware, educate yourself. And then with good education about it, when your tool bag is sort of, okay, I know what's happening, what's supposed to be done, blah, blah, then you start taking actions on top of that.
Yeah, so I guess that's where people lack actions. I mean, sure, you know.
And I'll be very frank. I may not be the best person to talk about this, or I'm not saying that I have everything figured out.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm trying my fucking ass off each and every day. That's the fire under my ass that I'm trying to do that.
100%.
And I mean, I want to ask you, if an 18-year-old, again, I mean, I always keep bringing this question. If an 18-year-old is listening to this podcast right now and they understand what we're talking about, what's your message to Satoshis? What's your, I'm a Monero guy or a Pirate Chain guy. So what's your 100 ARRR on it?
First off, Shiba Inu to the moon. Shiba Inu, please reach 1 rupees. That's the only thing.
Bitgurt as well.
Yeah, I don't ask much. To whoever is listening, Shiba Inu is the best. No. It's not like that.
It's got like 47 crores.
Wow, of Bitgurt. But yeah, to that 18-year-old boy, girl, whoever is listening,
don't look for an easy way.
No, there is never one.
And don't take it upon yourself that people haven't discovered yet. Let me be the first. It's a wild chase that leads to nowhere. You'll end up learning and being convinced that there is no easy way.
But still don't stop trying.
And spend more time being smart.
Yeah.
Being smart at things. Hard work is good.
Yeah.
But actually it doesn't land you anywhere.
It is important.
It doesn't land you anywhere far. Depending on like what your dreams are.
Just hard work is
absolutely.
Don't you see the laborers working so hard?
Correct. You know, donkeys would have been glorified.
Correct. They would have been unicorns by now.
Yeah. And don't carry the burden of your hard work and your good intentions to be rewarded.
Okay.
Just don't.
Yeah, that's a deep one.
I'll tell you. Personal, please you complete.
No.
I started working on the 1st of April 2008. 6 years I worked for a company, and my company was such where it was a physically excruciating work in a sense that I had to sit on the chair for 4-5 hours together. It was a transcription job, so there is not much smartness that can be put. We just, like, the company just needed people who could put in the hours. 16-18 hours of work consistently. So my job involved a lot of hard work, right? Because again, you have to listen to the audio and type.
Yeah.
And so there are different levels. So you then have to listen to the audio and then edit. So these were the processes. So there is not much really smart work that goes in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hard work and consistency. And 6 years I work in that organization. This was the lesson that hard work pays off. I had some good days. And again, your experiences make your belief stronger. So my belief, 6 years of belief, right? Then the company shut down. I got laid off. I changed my industry to, hospitality. 1.5 years I worked there.
Yeah.
Again, it was more of hard work because Monday to Friday I used to work out of an office, and then Saturday, Sunday I used to go to the campsite, attend the guests, because I had taken their bookings and I always felt obligated, like, they need to see who they spoke to first. Again, there was a lot of hard work involved. right? Traveling.
How old
and
were you?
So 2008 and 2000, like 9, 10,
23,
11, 12,
24.
13, 14,
Yeah,
15.
man. He's
So 2013, so
hustling.
this 1st April, I'll be completing 14
yeah.
years of full-time job.
Yeah.
Mm.
So since 2019, I've been an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
and I still have a job now.
Mhm.
But then again, like,
No.
the entrepreneurial side of
But the
me
same thing
is
will you
still alive.
suggest to an 18-year-old having a side hustle?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And do not compromise on studies if possible.
Oh no, you shouldn't.
You should not.
So
I learned it the hard way.
hang on.
So
Don't-
the smart. Let me just complete about the smart hard work thing, right?
Hmm.
After that hospitality stunt, like the company that I was with,
Hmm.
then we worked for IT sale. We worked at logistics company.
that was
then
supposed to be
six-
IT sales, but
Uh-huh.
yeah,
6
the
months we
sales of a
spent
sales.
there.
Yeah.
Then after that, again the company shut.
Hmm.
They pivoted to some other IT product,
Hmm.
and again we were not a part of it.
Hmm.
Then 3 months I worked for IT sales.
Hmm.
Then I got laid off
Hmm.
around 3rd January. I don't remember the year, but it was 3rd of January.
Hmm.
I was in bad hangover, and 2 days after I received a call from my from founder saying that we are laying you off.
Hmm.
And so series of events like bad
Hmm.
times happening, and I've always taken pride that I can always put in more efforts than anybody on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Because I can give in the hours.
Hmm.
What do you need? You need the hours, right? Hard work requires what? You just
Correct.
need to put in the hours,
Hmm.
right? And then I also worked in a small, not a small, but in a coaching institute where I was a glorified receptionist. I was hired for marketing, but then there was not much marketing to be done. So I ended up sitting behind the counter, trying to convert the walk-ins. Till that time, I was always a believer in the hard work because I could always give in the hours. Then I joined an organization which is into lending to the college students. 1 month into that organization, and just imagine, 2017 I joined that organization in the month of June, July. All right. Yeah. 2018 I was in Pune. 2019 I started Talenzo.
Your birthday.
No, 2019 Feb we registered Talenzo.
Okay.
So a year before that I was in Pune. So 2017 I joined this organization in June, July. I don't remember the date. 1 month into the organization, and I'm told your hard work means shit here. We are result oriented organization. We need results. And I was like, wait. I mean, I'm trying to not only just pull my weight around here, but I'm literally carrying my team also. Because that was the first time I was in a role where I had to manage team. For the first time I was a city head for Mumbai, and then I had 4-5 sales managers, or executives, what do you call it?
I remember. Yeah.
And that was a very frustrating experience for me. It took a month or so for me to come to terms. I used to, every night I used to feel that I got a lot of anxiety in that job. It was a very bad experience for me emotionally because I was working like anything. And ultimately, what do? I could only work hard. If the product is not selling, how do you contribute more? By working hard, by pushing more. Then I found a smart way. Like June, July is a time frame where I was joined the company, slogging my ass. I literally broke down on a call with my immediate boss. In the month of December, Nikhil had his bachelor's at Karjat. And in the evening, the same day, I had so much work, I could not, a day prior the bachelor's, I was I won't be able to go.
I remember.
And then the very next day, I lose my mind. I switched off my phone at 4:00, and I was I called Nikhil beforehand that I'm coming. Meet me at a certain point. My phone will be switched off. I'm coming for sure. I spent the night. Drank to glory. The next day again, back to the life. And that's when I had a breakdown with my boss. Because I've always been working hard. How could you take that away from me? Suddenly you want me to be smart. Not that it was difficult, it's just that I wanted my hard work to be recognized.
Too comfortable in that.
Too much burden I was carrying, right? Who the fuck am I? I'm just a very small cog in that entire wheel, right? I can't even value my contribution, like how much, like with me in that organization, how much the wheels are going forward. So that's when I realized, like, smart work is always what is needed. Always be result oriented, because I was weak. That's why I always had to justify with the amount of hours that I put in, the amount of Sundays I sacrificed. Finally, I found a hack in the month of December. Good for me. And we were like, my city, Mumbai, who was nowhere on the map.
I remember you telling me this.
And you used to see, right?
Yeah.
Like till 12, we used to upload those documents.
Yeah.
Even one of my sales guy, Kuldeep, you've met him.
I remember, yeah.
So it was going so good. And then again, like when things started going good, I was moved to another project. That's when I moved to Pune. And then again, I felt like, my glory was taken. For once, I was doing something good, like, where it shot up my confidence. And then again, I was moved to some other, some other project.
If you remember, we did one more R&D situation, rip off and
Duplicate.
While we were trying to sell that transportation services, remember Mumbai, there were only 2 chaps who could put in the number and both of us were sitting on zeros.
Absolutely,
And
yes.
then, ta-da!
So, I call it beginner's luck, or like,
No, but we were smart enough to identify
Correct.
such opportunities, right?
Correct,
we needed someone to sort of do whatever the
and
other guy
things were going good. I'm in Hyderabad. the checks were coming in.
Absolutely,
The PDCs kept coming in.
Absolutely. So much so the company had to shut us down.
Yeah, actually. But it ultimately became a lending company. So this will be another
but
podcast.
I will tell you one thing for sure. So this is just for the listeners also. So everyone might know of this technology called as RPA. It's called robotic process automation. What it is that whatever mundane, quote unquote, mundane and hard work related tasks that you do, there is a bot you can create to do it.
Wow.
It's a very big thing right now in the market. There are multi-billion-dollar companies who are working only into automating these mundane processes. How important are you as a hard worker? Not as much. Because there is something, somewhere, someone who's going to come up with some sort of a bot who's going to replace you. So, Mr. V and AB Chan replaced by RT2016 and 69. But yeah.
Weak people would still say, where would you get the dedication? Where
I mean, go and ask copywriters, copyrightists, people who used to what happened when the Xerox machine came in.
Absolutely.
And it's that thing is gonna keep repeating.
So that is going to happen, right? I mean, there are going to be technologies which are going to replace you as an individual, which are going to replace your hard work as an individual. Is what we are trying to establish out here. But I guess the 2 Satoshis which we need to really point it out to the youngsters or people who are even our age, who are actually trying to figure out where can they begin. I guess it's all about equipping yourself with the right set of knowledge, with the right set of things, with the right set of ideology, and at the same time with a drive to sort of pull yourself out and push yourself out there and be in abundance in a situation where you actually want to be.
And right set of people also.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that definitely matters a lot. But I'll tell you, Varun, the problem is you don't come across such people quite as often. I am actually blessed to have such people around me. But definitely you need to put in the work to put yourself out there to meet those people. Right? I mean, you cannot just sit at home and say, you know what, no one is my friend, no one helps me, blah, blah, blah. You can either mope, crib and cry about it.
So, like how comfortable a person is identifying dates on Tinder, Bumble, Hinjewadi. Why not look out for some networking events and be of use? And that's how you change your company, right?
Something as simple as Instagram can connect you to like-minded people in that aspect.
100%.
So, how cautious a person is, right? To show interest and not desperation.
Correct.
Same thing applies in networking as well.
Correct.
And that's what.
So coming from a place of self-growth, if you're trying to meet people, I am I am not even second guessing anyone would stop you from it, because you probably would want to be in a room where you can learn and grow as an individual, right? Probably
Yeah.
in a room where you can play the VAbE, the podcast,
Yeah.
the amazing one that'll help you grow with three amazing people who are speaking right now. But then again, to surround yourself with the right people, bang on, man, bang on.
Yeah, you need people who are not weighing you down. And also, you need to find rooms where you're the dumbest person in the room.
Oh, totally.
That's the
Yes,
best day.
Totally.
That's the best day.
Probably
Yes.
it should be almost as good as Greek for you
Hmm.
as a language. I mean, you
Correct.
shouldn't even understand jack shit out of it. But when you know that this is going to make you that buck that you're yearning for, that relationship that you want, I mean, I would say come from a place of that drive, come from a place where you're actually putting in that work. Sure, I mean, depression is real, anxiety is real. I don't even second guess it. Uh, in the presence of fear is when you can be courageous. If there is no fear, there is no courage.
In the presence of fear,
Is when you can be courageous.
Yep.
If you do not have a situation of fear, how can you show that you are courageous?
that's deep.
Absolutely. I mean that was from, if I'm not wrong,
Batman,
no, Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty.
So in that, the God says, if you pray for courage, will I give you
Morgan
courage?
Freeman is the one saying,
Correct.
"Yeah, I've been seeing
Correct.
those reels."
Correct. If you pray for courage, will I give you courage, or situations that will ask you to show courage?
Or
Right? So-
teach you
Yeah.
to show strength.
100%. So perhaps these are those finer things which I just want to highlight it out. And I'm not sure if you guys have a good memory or not. I personally don't care. If you want, you can write it down. But you need to have these things in place for you to be able to maybe start off a journey. If
And
nothing.
it all starts with having honest conversations with oneself.
So true. So
You-
important.
You bullshit people, that's fine. I mean,
100%.
that's your survival instinct, or call it whatever shit you want, Stop bullshitting yourself.
Absolutely.
Stop lying to yourself.
Absolutely.
Like, you go out there with your friends and say, like, I don't give a damn, or I'm not scared, or I'm not afraid of this or that. That's fine. That's okay. That's acceptable. But back home, when you're sleeping, try having honest conversation with yourself and accept that you lied.
Yeah.
What you choose to do after it's up to you. That's your core, right? Next day, new morning, new lies. It's okay, but at least have an honest conversation with yourself first, and stop living in denial. Denial is a good cousin or first cousin of complacency.
True. But I guess to one more set of listeners who probably maybe aren't facing the hardest times that we are trying to address out here, this just doesn't mean that you can get complacent. I have seen things.
Or don't just be counting on your stars.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how much can you?
So that if you don't have hard times now, doesn't mean that you don't prepare.
No, I'm not praying that you do have a hard
Absolutely
time later
not.
on,
I
but
think the
absolutely not.
times we're headed for, from the picture that we painted a while
Yeah.
back, everyone's gonna get it.
no,
man.
I get that. But
It's coming for everyone.
But see, for certain set of people who are actually listening, they might be saying, "Hey, these guys are bullshitting. We are having plentiful of assets. We are having blah blah blahs, and we're there to
So
take care of our
that
own
just
self."
makes one of you.
Yeah, no, that's a separate conversation. But what I'm trying to paint out here is that still, even in such situations, do not get complacent.
Yeah.
Please do not. You have that money, make it multifolds.
If you're in abundance, start looking for new risks
Absolutely.
in the market. I mean,
Or try and leave a legacy behind.
Or at least tell people how you did it. Come on,
Oh, yeah.
we're all ears.
Yeah,
We're all
Just-
open
just
to
be
learning.
wants to reach
open.
and speak to us, please DM us on the VAbE. So yeah.
I
And come
swear,
and
I
talk to
mean,
Okay, coming back. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
no.
Coming back to the the 18-year-old, listen to this. So, I mean, this happened with me when I every day from I used to go teach at a music school
Yeah.
in Villeparle. I used to pass by Villeparle station each and every day. Okay, and each and every day I looked at this bookstall, and I used to go buy a pack of biscuits to the stall next to that bookstall. And one day I just said, okay, I have enough time to kill. let me just look at the damn bookstall.
Mm.
And right there at the front row, I could see the smiling face of Robert Kiyosaki.
Mm.
I'm 20 years old.
That's how you.
And I
discover.
said, okay, I've heard way too much about this book, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
What does it say?
Mm.
So I pick it up and it said Rich Dad Poor Dad. And best $60 I've ever spent in my life. Okay, on my way back home that day, I was in pain, man.
Wow.
Because the world that I knew was, the whatever financial education or just my belief system that I had in life was pretty much under attack by the time I got home. As I read that book, I'm like, shit, everything I know about money, about finances, about and a lot of about life is a lie. Is what
100%.
like from my perspective of a 20-year-old me.
And you were at an age where you're building this overall
So I
value
took
system.
it as a sponge. I was at that spot that I was not 50 that, my back is so twisted now that I can't straighten it up.
Correct.
I was like, okay, I'm so glad that I found this. And I was just pissed off at myself because that book was lying there each and every day
Wow.
into that 18-month-old stint that I did over there. Okay. And I could not pick it up once. So, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? That sort of a thing. So coming back to the thing that I was saying, so to every young person who's listening to this, so equip yourself with the right knowledge, surround yourself with the people who are as passionate, as driven as you regarding this thing about, going out and achieving there in the world. And, and obviously, as you guys pointed out, distance yourself away from the people who weigh you down. Okay.
Start identifying the anchors.
And the sales, correct.
Start
Anchors and the sales.
identifying those anchors, and a lot of times those would be your closed ones.
But I will add a third perspective here. You need to also have certain critics around you. Some set of people who will actually hold you to account. Maybe those could be the ones who are a part of your sale as such, as your boat. But definitely having those people around, because at times you just cannot see your back.
Yeah.
Or the statement, right? You don't know what you don't know. So this third person definitely should be around. Can be someone, your brother, sister, mother, cousin, friend, or I don't know, whoever who can actually call out on your bullshit. If you aren't able to call your bullshit out.
Mhm.
So maybe that is also perhaps required, because at times, so the best example is your brother, right? Pankaj. Damn, that guy can call out my shit. I hate him for that because he is right.
Yeah, his guts are to be hated, but he just
But
doesn't
I
care.
love him for doing
Couldn't
this.
care less, actually.
I actually love him for doing this, because not a lot of people, I don't allow anyone to do this. That guy cares a fuck. He'll say it because he cares about me. And maybe he won't show it as such. But then as a person, fuck, that's brilliant. So having that type of person perhaps be very important. Pankaj, if you're listening, you're amazing. We want you on the next podcast.
We love you.
Yeah.
Great.
No,
Okay,
but-
now I'll go.
coming back,
I'll go. I'll hit one more
mhm.
nail into this so-called coffin. Okay, so I'll leave you. All these the younger people with one thought. See, we've got a record high of mental health disorders, mental health issues. We've got a record high of just unhappiness among people.
True.
Okay, just it's sad, but it is what it is, right? So, and we are the generation who heard and complied to everything our elders told us. Go to school, get a job, marry at blah 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 age, do this, do that. Hey, put the white socks in the white drawer, put the black socks in the black drawer. Okay, we heard everything. We did what we were told.
Yeah.
And we have headed into a place where we have the highest unemployment. We're unhappy. We're this and that. And so it's about damn fucking time you start playing it your fucking way. Okay.
True.
That's what I really want to say is go out there and do something anyway. Okay. Be a little rock and roll about it. It's cool. Okay. I mean, we did everything what we were told, and we're the poorest generation in there right now. Okay.
I agree.
Like from what we spoke about the book,
True that.
the youngsters possess the least amount of wealth right now.
And only maybe the 2% are actually wealthy. The unicorns or those Oyos and
The people who made it, the people who made it.
Yeah. Hmm.
But then, I mean, aren't our actions an immediate
Reflection.
factors for the role that our actions play for where we are?
No, so
There has to be some reason, right? Why our generation or why we are the poorest. There
I mean, you can go on and on about it. It's we did something we were
just
told
do not
anyway.
hide. So basically, again, to the
have you been
listeners, just to
indoctrinated or
the
something?
listeners, basically, it
The
shouldn't be that you stop
indoctrination-
putting in
Yeah.
the effort, that you stop taking your losses. Like the entire generation is losing. Who the fuck am I? No, it's not.
No. Yeah.
Anyone can change
Not.
not just their lives, but people's destiny.
No, so I mean, who the fuck am I is a very, very deep question. I mean,
No, so it's that
It's-
the belief system that we were plugged into
correct.
fucked us over. So time to not say, oh, poor me, oh man, I did what I was told. I didn't get anywhere, blah, blah. No, fuck that. You need to update your belief system now and plug into a
A
better
higher
belief,
system.
a
For
higher
sure.
system, and you need to say, okay, fuck, there's a problem now. I need to do something about it. Jo
Yeah, I
ho
mean-
gaya, wo ho gaya. Whatever has happened
So
is done. Yeah.
Fire below your ass is important, right? Till the time you don't sit on that pan, you won't really realize that there is heat coming.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, it is. I mean, whether or not it will or will not, I am not willing to risk that. I'm still going to try to prepare for it, is what I'm trying to say.
Correct.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. It never did. I mean,
Being
Fuck hard
cognizant
work,
of the hardships or the risks.
correct.
Now again, that is smart, right?
Yeah.
In a way, that is a smart decision.
Yeah. And now coming back to the how will you cash out scenario, man, if banks
he's been
collapse,
thinking on the back,
Yeah,
back of his
man.
head. Huh?
if
I like
banks collapse,
Fucker's been talking for long and still is thinking.
yeah,
In the
yeah,
hindsight, wow.
no, if banks collapse, I mean, maybe money at that point will be not on your top priority list. Safety, well-being, survival, being self-sufficient with food, electricity, water, and your basic needs, right? That will have a little more importance. Suddenly it'll be on the forefront.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then again, that becomes a dream, right? Cashing out becomes a dream then.
So sustainability is going to be probably is what you're trying to say, that you grow
At
your own
that
food.
at that point, at that
You
point
will-
it'll be that.
Yeah.
Like you'll be wishing, why didn't I
buy a
set up a farmhouse and grow my own food and this and that.
For sure, for
And
sure.
but now we're kind of steering away from the
away, but-
topic, but we're coming back to this whole point of being
Sustainability,
being self-sufficient as a person. That like once you have that, your own farm, your own food, you're self-sufficient, blah blah blah. Money at that point doesn't really matter. I'm talking a little Zen mode right now.
Correct.
That at that point you're so happy with yourself, just you're out in the nature and you're complete by yourself and your loved ones are around you and you've got so much time on your hands to do stuff at that point that all this stuff doesn't really matter. But to get there, the ticket to freedom needs to be earned. It's not handed in your way unless you're like really rich. Okay, that ticket to freedom needs to be earned. Okay, so I'm plugging in a little bit of my own journey into this now. That's what my real goal is. To get to a point where I'm like, I've made enough money to pretty much steer away from this whole city life and set up my own farmstead
Wafresh will
and
have
do that.
its own
Wafresh was supposed to be, so I run this cafe called Wafresh
big shout out. Yeah.
in the bosom of Kharghar, Navi Mumbai. Okay. And we're a health place and we're pretty affordable. You can look us up. We're out there on Swiggy, but the best experience you can get is if you actually come down and, let us recommend you something and have a chat with us and
Good food.
great, like, worked
Get
Get a chance to be on our next podcast.
Yeah.
And for sure.
Teach us
We
something.
worked our ass off to curate that stuff. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Wafresh was actually supposed to be a farming entity.
True.
Me and my partner, his name is Ansar, we went to a couple of farms and this and that. We kind of sort of came to the conclusion that, maybe
Not right
we
now.
want to come to this thing later on. we want to set ourselves into retail first.
I think you will reach there. It's not.
No, I mean that's the final goal.
Yeah.
I want to get there. Yeah.
If you strive for it,
Absolutely.
who's stopping
absolutely.
you?
Correct.
And farming, you will definitely have surplus. I mean, how much will your family eat?
Correct.
There's only so much, right? So, and what better than having your own bloody farm?
Yeah.
I'd aim for that as well.
So I mean, and
Yeah.
this I realized because I was thinking at the back of my head while this whole chat was happening, like when the banks collapse, when there's blood in the streets and blah blah blah, right? So there's this great YouTube channel called Urban Farmer. This guy started off farming in people's backyards, and he used to share the surplus, keep the remainder for him, sell it, whatever. So, and I think he had a finance background.
Oh.
A guy out of that scene going into that. I might be wrong on this one, but people can look it up and check out Urban Farmer on YouTube. He started doing live streams about these shit hits the fan instances. He's like, from whatever is happening in the world, I can sort of see this thing coming at some point. Not that it's going to be here tomorrow, but it doesn't hurt to be a year or two early or to be prepped up for this. Okay. So he was doing a couple of live streams talking about this very thing. When the banks collapse, when your assets in, all these things are not helpful anymore. Now, what do you have? Then it's you who you are as a person and people around you, and are you self-sufficient?
True.
Again, we're walking away from the financial part of it and going into the much deeper part, which is self-sufficiency and this and that. But I think everything works hand in hand.
Oh, absolutely.
All of these things are interconnected.
It's a part of a larger system, a larger machine, I guess. But I guess then definitely you need to work towards self-sustenance. If nothing, own a farmhouse which has things that can be grown, which can be eaten and consumed. If tomorrow you actually don't have the way to get money out of the banks. Apart from that, owning assets,
I think we would soon return to barter.
And you will soon return to the land. I mean, we'll return back to our roots pretty much. I mean, I see that happening already. And I'm not telling people that be so rich that you own a farmhouse yourself and blah, blah, blah. Man, do it with friends.
Why not?
It's a lot of fun.
Why not? That's what I was planning to say, that let's go and really buy land and start really becoming a farmer.
Yeah, so I have let's do another shout out to my friend she runs an Airbnb farm stay called
what's it called? Oh, it's House of Van Gogh Green.
House of Van Gogh Green.
Yeah,
if you're listening to this, I mean, you obviously know that I love you. But so she runs a farm stay, and she's in a process of acquiring like a mass plot of land where it's going to be this friends,
ecosystem,
like-minded friends coming together, people renting out the land, getting farming done, setting up a good ecosystem, setting up, doing good for the local communities around there. And there will be some financial aspect to it as well. It's in the works. So that's just one example of what I'm telling all of you, that what's happening.
So there's one more thing which I had seen. I'm not sure if I should plug that in here, but a lot of these foundations also, which are doing such said activities wherein they are pretty much self-sustaining, to the tune that, they're feeding people every day, say 8,000-10,000 people. At the same time, they have plentiful of food for themselves. They probably get it through donations. Probably they're growing their own food. But there are a plethora of such foundations which you guys might want to Google and figure out if you want to be a part of that. But I mean, see, the whole larger dream shouldn't be finding an easy way out. I would always say, okay, even those foundations, you need to put in the work. It's not free. You need to actually volunteer for them. You need to actually put in the brains and the hard work as well, along with your brains, to get to where you really want to be. But the idea still, and the fact always will still remain. And I guess the podcast also stands for this particular statement, that definitely you need to put in the work. You cannot just sit and expect something to come and fall right on your lap. I mean, I guess this is the third time I'm saying this, but I cannot stress enough in terms of how much importance that really holds. I mean, I guess the previous podcast also I said that, and I don't mind saying it right again. You're already all in life. I mean, the only way of getting out of this life is dying. As simple as that. There's no other escape. So either you mope, cry, crib, blame the system, blame anyone in the whole fucking world, and then do nothing, or try to change the system, or try to change the things which you cannot change or which you cannot control. As simple as that. And or rather, work on things which you can control, work in the present, work on yourself, work on the people who matter to you as such, create an ecosystem like how VADE is doing, sort of put in that work. There's no harm in starting an initiative on your own. There is no harm in taking that initiative. People say that, why should I take it up? You're a bullshitter. Don't do that. Pick it up, go out there, put in the work. You need support, you will find support. Like Varun just said, I mean, if what was that about the teacher and the student there?
Yeah, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So be ready. Suddenly there is going to be a teacher definitely at our
horizon. Yeah.
So, yep. In short,
I mean, yeah, what you said is very, very inspiring. This on the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, hold on. My link got cut. What was the previous thing that you were talking about?
The student and the teacher?
No, yeah, before that.
You're already all in?
Yeah, you're already all in. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I remember the quote. Yeah, now I'm back. Probably might need another coffee after this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
So, I mean, the quote said, you're thinking anyway. So why don't you think big?
Yeah.
So it's just that only.
And there is a very beautiful quote by Abhishek which we are looking at each other.
My grandmother always said, "Khana hai to hatti ka gu khao."
No, first in the actual language. Garhwali, right? She used to say.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
See, good
Bro,
friends.
that is how I remember.
So my nickname is Salu. So she used to always tell me, like, on good occasions, I shit you not, like if it's my birthday or if it's any family gathering, or let's say if she's overwhelmed with emotions and she's in abundance of good energy and wishes, she would always call me like, Salu yakho. Salu khaan to hatti ko khaan nahi to nahi khaan. So what it means is khana hai to hatti ka gu khana hai, nahi to nahi khana hai.
If you want to eat poop,
exactly, and
the one which is the largest, the elephant.
So basically, back then I couldn't realize it. It used to be quite embarrassing. Like the word itself, right? I mean, I used to always feel awkward. Like, what is she saying? I mean, and maybe I was too young, ignorant, not having that mindset, not having that consciousness, or not that intellectual. And like, I won't say unfortunately, I mean, she passed away, right? I mean, this is the lively duties that she performed. And after that, I was just sitting and it just hit me, like, what she meant was, like, if I want to dream.
It hit me as well, right? I mean, to a certain extent, if both of us are staring at each other while we are thinking the same thing, right?
Correct. So
she's touched many lives. I'll still say.
Yeah.
And it's like
now mine too.
Yeah, absolutely. And the people.
If you're dreaming, so it's more about, now she's no more. So I obviously cannot know what exactly she meant. Did she actually mean it that way? But this is my story now. This is what I inferred. This is how I inferred. This is what I derived from it. Is you're dreaming. Everyone dreams. Why can't you fucking dream big? It has to be out of the world. And my mama, what do you call it in English? Uncle, my mom's real brother. So he often, like, whenever I like talk to him over the phone, he always used to tell me, like, Salu, काम वो करो जिसपे दुनिया थूके.
सारी दुनिया थूके.
जिसपे सारी दुनिया थूके. And you remember there was a phase where we used to often talk about it.
Absolutely, we would start off a sentence
and
with that.
Again, that was when he told me, like, probably few months, not a year, but probably for the few months, I was like clueless. What the fuck is he saying, and why would he say that? काम वो करो जिसपे दुनिया थूके. And I've always looked up to him from a comic point of view. He's been one of the finest comedian for me. Like, he always made me laugh till this day. If I'm on a call with him, I'm going to laugh my ass out. That's for sure. And all of a sudden he used to say, काम वो करो जिस पे दुनिया थूके. But then again, what you derive from it, right? I mean, people might not respect every deed of yours, but if it's worth doing, you should definitely go for it. I mean, there's no stopping, you know.
No, so there will be 10,000 people who are going to
And
tell you that
how
this is worth spitting on.
Correct,
your work.
correct. And one more thing that I wanted to share was like, you know, like now.
Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Make me understand this thing once again.
So
काम ऐसा करो जिससे
वही करो जिसपे सारी दुनिया थूके.
हाँ,
Now, what I inferred out of it might be different from what Abhishek did or AB Chan did. I inferred it as no matter what I do, there will be 10 people telling me that I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it the wrong way. I'll try to spit where I'm trying to work on. Right? The whole world is bloody spitting where I'm working. But
in
that
a way,
shouldn't
yes.
really stop you. You should actually do that work and then make them realize, oh fuck, this guy is something.
And not even make them realize.
Or
fuck what they feel.
Yeah, exactly. Pardon me for saying that. But definitely, fuck what they.
Exactly. My initial takeaway was like, be so good that you hate the damn mofo. Like, you know, my which is also kind of fits. True. Like, you know,
so this is the beauty. These are ambiguous as fuck.
Yeah, very
lines.
Open and leads you.
All you could.
Wherever,
so a sensible mind would only take good from it.
Yeah.
Right? Mother chod bano.
Censor.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, you understand? Like, what does it mean? A sensitive person would infer something else. A sensible person would try to get to the crux of it.
Absolutely.
You know, why not be selfish?
So
why always be in abundance to each and every person you come across? Why?
True.
So you reach to a certain point and that's where you start sharing your abundance. It always has to start with your immediate ones, right? And once they've been elevated, that's when you branch out. And now this time when you are trying to uplift your immediate ones, you were alone. But now your immediate ones are fucking uplifted. You've got hands and legs and minds together.
And a headspace.
Just imagine Vaidehi and her friends trying to buy a farm together, like-minded people. Those like-minded people. So basically, let's say that farm reaps millions and millions.
I pray to God it does. So,
yeah, I mean, touch wood, it should. Now they are all uplifted, right? In a way, she might have sold her idea to them. She might have even tried to convince, not brainwash, but try to convince hard. Like, you know, this is good for you, this is good opportunity. Hard sell, yes. And the friends who agreed, now they've been onboarded, right? So they begrudgingly invested their money in something that they did not believe in the first place. And now they've reaped the benefit.
Yeah, true.
I am sure once this farm fetches good money for her and her friends,
a lot of naysayers would also drop in, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But while hard selling, she was alone to get everyone on board.
And
now she won't be.
She's been on this journey. Like today is Holi, by the way. Happy Holi.
Happy
Couldn't even
Holi.
wish you guys. She made
Shouldn't have said it. Now people would know how late we've uploaded the podcast.
Okay, I take that back. No,
it's good.
Itself,
it's good.
She is into like hardcore organic, sattvic eating and Ayurvedic and all the, you know, the natural go green stuff, which is what I resonate with as well. She sold like some 50 or 100 kilos of organic holy color made from haldi and indigo and this and that, different herbs and blah, blah, blah. And she sold out. So she's letting her work also speak for herself. And, you know, by seeing the results, people are already like, okay, you are a person who knows what they're doing.
She's been persistent as well, right? So there are so many takeaways which a lot of our listeners could take out of this beautiful story.
Exactly.
I guess I'd love to have her on this podcast as well to really.
I can definitely help you with that.
Yeah, please land her for us.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to her farm in like 3 days.
Just have a quick.
I'm going there on a date, so I mean, I'll.
Okay. We'll reserve that for her.
I'll bring that up. I'll bring this podcast thing up while I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
sure.
That's amazing.
That would be great.
I guess that's the beautiful.
And also, like, before we end, so काम वो करो जिस पे सारी दुनिया थूके. So what I also take away from that is find opportunity in scarcity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of people look down upon a lot of things. A lot of people discard a lot of things because they feel there's not enough opportunity or not enough wealth to be created. So those things are also
Gold.
Yeah. If you're smart, if you can put in the smart work, all you can do is try. And the beauty about trying is trying is a currency that you never run out of. You only need to replenish your mind, with it. You'll never run out of time. A guy like me would never run out of time trying. The only way I value money is because it allows me to try. By try, I mean take risk. That is the only time I hold it very holy to me. My relation with money is very, I won't say crooked, but it's broken. When I don't have money, I've never felt, oh shit, I shouldn't have spent. I went to Goa. I lost a decent amount and I was very happy, at peace. I didn't even lose an hour's sleep with it. The only time and also I never regret. So the only time I felt bad about my trip about Goa is because I lost an investment opportunity. Now again, I didn't feel bad because I could not wear certain shoes, buy certain brands. No. That is never a priority. The only time I reflect upon my unregulated spending behavior is when I actually have to miss upon an opportunity for invest. And again, that investment will fetch me money. With that money, I again want to take risk, right? So again, what I realized is I am in love with the process. I just want to see it through. And money gives me that ability. I don't know what I'll do with millions or billions. I might, because I need a few, I need a certain amount for my own philanthropy. Obviously, I'll do what I can, and I know, that I just want it to be unbelievable. I wish that when let's say I become a billionaire, I would want to give it all away and again start from scratch, because this is my commitment and my addiction to the process. Because now every time I'm more confident. And what if I fail? Who gives a fuck? You didn't give a fuck already. And I too don't give a fuck. That makes two of us. So it's beautiful. And again, I would like to, this is something which came inadvertently. Like trying is the best currency, which always gets replenished, You never run out of it. It's always up to you. How United States of America is printing currency. You are United States of America. You can print your currency of trying. Keep on trying.
That's a very damn inspiring quote. I'm gonna
Fuck,
meditate
man,
on that one.
I want it on
man,
shorts. I want it on reels. This is something which just came.
For me, this is the best episode for now, because we literally started off this podcast with zero things to talk in mind.
Absolutely.
We came up
the
with
initial
the topic.
15 minutes, were like,
We came up with the topic.
Fuck 15 minutes. Before we could start recording, we didn't have a topic, right?
Correct.
That's how prepared we
In
are.
entire
So we
honesty,
are
yes.
letting our secrets out.
But it's been a good one. What was that quote again? Please repeat it for me.
So trying is the only currency which you never run out of.
Yeah, beautiful.
You can.
I love it.
It will only be replenished as long as you want to. So the ability is with yourself. You are the United States of America. You can replenish.
You're the Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve, whatever you want to call it. But then it's very important. People. There'll be a lot of times people will tell you you'll definitely fail. Why are you still doing it? I've been in this business for the past 10 years. Obviously you'll fail. Fail. Because that a person who's suggesting you has the experience and you don't. You need to be as experienced as that person. I always want to be as experienced as the most experienced person in the room.
True.
I don't aspire to be as successful as the most successful person in the room, because that I can take care of. But I want to be damn experienced. I can live with a lot of failure stories. That also makes me something. something meaningful to me, what would I take? Like you guys, like again, not that in a very rude sense, but just imagine, what would you take home with the people's disappointment in you? Nothing. They,
Disappointments.
Who cares
so
about?
recently I was talking to Deepu. So I was telling him, that your friends now is a time where, like, even friends can let you stay in their house, feed you, right? So back in those days when we were growing up, my parents used to say, no one's going to take care of you. You have to do something for yourself. And I was always like, no, my friends are well off. They'll take me. So yeah, actually. But then what I realized was, I was telling him, yeah, keep, if you don't work hard in life, if you don't have that, courage to see things through, obviously your friends and family, like me personally, would take care of you. I will not allow you to fail, but then you have to stick to mediocrity for the rest of your life, as long as you want to sponge off me, because I'll make sure you have food 3 times a day or 4 times a day. I'll make sure you have fruits, even dragon fruit. I'll make sure you have fresh ka affogato. Okay, but you'll never get gold coins on Diwali. You'll never get those cars. So I'll never let you have a lavish life. I'll let you have a life.
If you want it lavish,
then you have to set your own path.
Go figure.
So your friends and immediate family or immediate friends or whatever, like, people who know you will only make sure of your survival. And I'm so sure that I'll survive. Apne ko chahiye ash. So
flourishing, yeah.
Why not?
This reminds me of, I used to tell my dad, hey dad,
they'll never splurge on you.
Like I went out with this girl and blah blah blah, I think she's my girlfriend. And my dad was like, कामयाब आशिक क्या होता है? सुबह धनिया ही खरीदता है ना वो.
Wow.
So he was like, it doesn't matter what you're trying to measure, is what you said, like your bare basic needs are covered. What good is that? Okay. What about doing your own thing?
Correct.
Make your own mark in the world. Do that. My dad used to be like, tell me something what makes me like go like, oh
excited.
yeah.
Damn.
Now you're talking.
No, that's very important to create that ripple into that timeline, right? I mean,
and he spoiled the whole getting a girlfriend thing so bad that I think of dhania every time I go out on a date. I'm like, Arey yaar, I'm actually gonna buy dhania the next morning.
Dhania pudina. The freshest you get at Wow Fresh. Big shout out.
Man, it's been too many plugs and it's been too many.
No, we're just trying to integrate brands in our podcast.
Please, brands.
We are priming ourselves for the longer run. Soon
Absolutely,
we'll be promoting apps.
Very good integration.
For all your audio needs, you can head over to Desi Labs. That's where we're recording this podcast, by the way.
Bosom of Hargar.
Right. So I want to ask you one thing. Now, we've spoken about the book, Hard Times Create Strong Men.
Yep.
And we've been talking about so many books, so many resources. So how do you sum all of this up? Coming back to the topic, yeah.
So I guess hard times might just be here to stay if you don't really work on it. This is what I would say. But definitely there are going to be situations which are going to be difficult for you, which are going to be averse to you. But what I would really recommend is what both Varun and AB have been trying to really speak about. Equip yourself with the right knowledge, with the right things, right books as well. I mean, just open up Google. You search randomest of the stuff on Google. Search this. Search some good self-help books. If you want a recommendation, Jordan Peterson books are good. Robert Kiyosaki is very good. Ray Dalio, I guess he has just 1 or 2 books. Very good still indeed. If you cannot read like me, I mean, not that I'm illiterate, but definitely I cannot read for nuts. I get bored. So I subscribe to Audible. I mean, why do you really need to subscribe to Netflix and I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Audible,
make
perhaps,
time for Audible as well. I mean, watch your shit on
instead
Netflix.
Of Netflix, spend that time on Audible is what I would say. listen to podcasts, not just ours. I mean, theek hai, if you don't want to listen to our podcast, where we're not even, forcing you to this, but to a fact that, there are plethora of podcasts out there which are talking about beautiful things which you can really take away from. Probably, AB, we've started off this podcast listening business maybe quite off lately, right? I mean, I started off this year is what I would say. And now I'm creating one.
It's March, so
True.
late December or early December for me.
Correct. So, I mean, there is
That's
some
when
sort
I
of power.
built an appetite for podcasts, and now I cannot get over it.
Correct. But now you get it, right? There is power in the overall podcast that we are actually listening to. It might just be a lot of information altogether, but then there are a lot of key takeaways.
Podcasts are mostly like Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
One could relate to. You could find it slow, but pay attention, and it will be the most insightful shit.
Absolutely. A lot
You've ever
of
come across.
gold coming out there. A lot of people putting out very good content. Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson. There was London Real, which Varun was talking about. Amazing set of podcasts out there. I mean, not to plug in them, but definitely there are so many resources which you really can take away from.
Try to explore.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no harm in that, right? Who knows what strikes what nerve, and you actually get all pumped and you bloody become the next millionaire or the richest man in the country.
This is only to be gained, and
Yeah.
like these could be one of the channels, right?
Mm.
For you to achieve your goal, you need to build multiple
Correct.
channels, and the funnel has to be full always.
And you need to be abundant in building those channels. You cannot just say, you know what, it is this channel or nothing. You need to be in a space that you are willing to explore this to the end, but at the same time that it shouldn't really break you if it doesn't work.
Don't carry the burden of being successful at the first attempt
Exactly. It may or may not happen,
itself. Yeah, allow yourself to fail as many times as
but
possible.
take learnings from it.
True.
And
Always.
definitely put in the work. You guys need help, feel free to reach out to us via DMs. We are very nice set of people to speak with. Really hot guys out here trying to speak
The first podcast
but-
itself, right?
Yeah.
The need for a support group.
True.
Mm.
So if you guys need our support, you want to talk to us, we can certainly lend our ears to you. We can hear you out. But definitely till the time you don't really lift up that phone to DM us, you do not put in the work to do it, I don't think nothing is going to happen to
And-
you. So
And always ask for
Yeah.
help. I'll tell you how my day has changed. I mean, this will probably take some more time, but
hmm,
I think it's very
you can-
important.
yeah.
At the outset, whenever you look at something, it is almost impossible or
Hmm.
unachievable. But you need to allow yourself to, or let's just say, like, I was not that great at asking.
Hmm.
There's a difference between asking and begging, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, "ये तो भीख मांगता है
Hmm,
सब जगह जाके."
hmm,
But that person could feel that he's just asking.
hmm,
So let the definition be defined by you yourself.
hmm,
When I was looking for a side hustle, I used to email authors. I used to email any page
hmm,
where I could just drop them an email saying, or if there's an event, I used to send an email
hmm,
to the guys and just asking, like, I could handle your Twitter account. I could handle your Facebook and Instagram account as well.
hmm,
So was I very good at it? No.
hmm.
But I was
Willing to figure it out.
so comfortable
Hmm.
that what could happen? I could fail,
Hmm,
right? At the cost of others, right?
hmm,
They could have a bad experience. But then how would I grow? How does a person grow?
hmm.
How does a person grow? Every time you fail, there's someone else on the receiving end who doesn't have a pretty good experience, right?
So I think a few takeaways I'll take from here is you need to put in some skin in the game. You just cannot
Yeah.
sit on the bylines and
Stop
sidelines
stop
and say nothing. Yeah.
being ashamed
Hmm,
of the slightest things.
hmm,
The first time I went to a 5-star hotel was Taj Towers
hmm,
in Kolaba.
hmm,
It was 2013. My sister had gotten married. That's how I remember. I did not have a phone.
hmm,
Actually, this is 2012, a year prior, where instead of purchasing a phone, I purchased a camera.
hmm,
I spent close to 2 years without a phone. Back then, my job did not demand me to have a phone because there was
Phones were
nothing.
not that important also to
My
carry
job
around.
role was not that.
Okay.
I was in transcription, so there's no requirement of
It was
phone.
moot.
There was pick up and drop. I was doing night shift, so there's literally nothing of a phone that was needed to enable me in my job. So I read this article in Bombay Times where Saurabh Ballantyne presents Saurabh Pant. All right, and on the bottom of the ad, on the bottom left, it was entry by invite only. As usual, Bombay Times used to serve a purpose that it used to do for a lot of people. So watching celebrities,
Page 3.
actresses mostly. Hana, I looked at it, read whatever I could, and then I turned off. And then suddenly it hit me like, why not just ask? And I just received my salary and I was in abundance that time. That kitna hoga, like probably 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, but just for the experience, because I've never been to a 5-star before. I called them up on the number and they asked me for a few of my details, like how many people would be accompanying. I said I would be the only one. And they said that party starts at this time and Starboard is the lounge on the ground floor. I don't know if it still exists, but that's where the party was. And I asked all these details and I asked them like, Valentine, so is alcohol on the house? So he said, yeah, it's on the house, sir. And I was like, okay, great. I hang up the phone. I had called through my dad's phone actually. So I hang up the phone and then I'm like, oh fuck, I did not even ask them how much do I need to pay. That again, I got a little scared. And I called them up again and I was like, excuse me, I believe his name was Akshay. I was like, Akshay, sorry, I forgot to ask. Like, what is the entry fee? He was like, no, sir, it's by invite only. You just got invited, right? We've mentioned your name. And that was the day I realized that a lot of things that we feel are so difficult to get your hands on. You just need to ask. You just need to make that phone call.
Ask and you shall receive.
Absolutely. There's nothing more truthful than this. There's money literally lying on the roads. It's just that people feel that it is beneath them.
There's one more quote which I will quote someone great here. जो शर्माया वो
जो शर्मा है वो ही भूखा है आज. They will starve. The people who hesitate will starve. What is their destiny? Hesitating for everything.
Correct.
It should never be. So these were my few satoshis in a nutshell.
A lot of satoshis, maybe a bit.
Bitgurt. These were my few bitgurts. All 47 crore of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking resources, right? So obviously the book, Hard Times Create Strong Men. There's another, I mean, I always reference the Unplugged Alpha and the Rational Male.
I
mean, I can't stress on these two books, especially the Unplugged Alpha.
More Mr. Nice Guy, pretty good book. Yeah.
There you go. Robert Glover.
No, and it's not just about men, but even the book says that, you should actually read it with your significant other. It will actually help your relationship. It was that good a book. Yeah.
Well, I got no significant other at the moment.
Me neither.
That
freshly
makes
out of
3 of
something.
us,
So.
Oh, yeah. Bunch of singles you can slide into our DMs for sure. Yeah.
Just theirs would be fine actually.
Hey, there you go. So, some more books.
Robert Greene. Did we say this name?
Yeah, Mastery by
33
Robert Greene.
Strategies of War.
33 laws of...
48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power.
And
A lot of
laws
books.
of war. Yeah. Robert Greene.
Yeah.
Robert Greene.
Very powerful
lot of
stuff.
laws.
He's got quite a few books out there. There's another one called... There's another one that I've been reading recently called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And he talks about what I just said. Like, how can you change and so here's the thing. If you don't have your shit together, it's going to be hard times for you all the time.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
So we need to level up our game, become a solid 10 in all aspects of our lives. And it takes effort. It takes all of this shit. But then what are we doing anyway? So yeah, again, coming back to the books, obviously Robert Kiyosaki has so much great content. I mean, even if you just watch the videos and the stuff these guys are talking about.
And just to before the podcast, when we were just having a chat, you said we were talking about overnight success, and you said it takes 10 years for overnight
overnight
success.
Correct, exactly. So people don't see all the shit
The
that
hard
went
work
went
that was
into it. They see the success
work.
story.
Exactly. The things that you sacrifice.
Correct. So yeah, so Rich Dad Poor Dad definitely. And what other finance books did I recently
Psychology
read?
of Money is what I would
Psychology of Money is pretty
Beautiful.
good.
Beautiful.
I've been
Okay,
consuming it on Audible.
Two recommendations at the same time, so I need to read this book.
Yeah,
now.
please.
I
Very
haven't.
good one. Very good one.
I haven't read this one.
Yet to finish it, but
Mhm.
very
Very good one.
Right. And what else have I been reading? I've been following this couple of YouTube channels that I could mention. So George Gammon, the Red Pill economist.
Wow.
Okay, so a lot of the stuff that I was talking about was from his channel.
Okay.
And so that's there. That's another channel that I follow called Bulldog Mindset. John Sonmez, who's like a tech guy turned entrepreneur turned like a real estate investor, and he's got quite a lot of books. He's ran a couple of marathons. So all these people are really inspiring people to just look up to and follow. So that stuff. What else? I'm just name dropping as much as I can. There's another book called The Way of Men by Jack Donovan, I think is the name of the author, who talks about just how to be like a healthy masculine man, the mindset you're supposed to have, the whole you cannot give up, you've got the burden of performance, and how you're supposed to also sort of be the way of men is the way of gang, is what he says. Really interesting. Like it's supposed to be like a tribal concept. You and your gang of men who get shit done, and you get your validation from doing shit done among these group of men who validate you. Like almost like a support group that we spoke about.
You reminded me of a lot of things. Yeah.
Not from if girls like you or the society thinks you're hip or any of that shit, right? Yeah. So because they don't pay your bills anyway. So so yeah, I think that's pretty much from me. That's what I can go on and on, but we'll keep it concise for now.
I would say humans are social beings. Having a wolf pack never hurt. So that'll definitely be a good one. So yeah, I guess maybe the natural course of the podcast coming towards an end. But just to sum it up, like I was saying, there are tough times. There will be tough times. If there are not, it might just come in. No harm in being prepared.
And just as they say, if you're the smartest guy in the room, then you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
And again, like to a smaller extent, I like just thought off the top of my head. It's like if there are no tough times, then you're not doing the right thing as well. Because if you are on a growth upward trajectory, you will face tough times. But if you feel personally that it's been long that I've faced tough times, then you're not on the right track.
So even if you feel that, you actually need to sort of put yourself into certain
you become complacent basically.
Yeah, so that you can actually put in the work. Maybe do some philanthropy, or try touching other people's lives, which will actually need you to go out there and support and sort of put in your brain cells to actually help someone. I was seeing a channel the other day. No, not a channel per se. It was a I don't know that person's name. I'll actually share that video with you as well, Varun. There's this guy. He is a millionaire through real estate in UK. He has a particular sort of a cult wherein he's trying to help people to become millionaires. So his program is called 7-Day Millionaire. I'm forgetting the.
You're not talking about Dan Penny, are you?
No.
No, Dan Penny is a different breed.
We'll talk about Dan Penny some other time.
But what he was doing is he's actually stepping out of his house, his comfort zone. He's going and staying with someone who's actually in shambles right now. He's helping that person out to sort of come up with a plan and put in the work, and sort of teaching him to
in love with the process.
Oh yeah. So he's replicating that process. So I mean, certainly he's made his millions. He doesn't need to go out there and do it, but still he's doing it because he's in love with the process, right? So similarly, in such similar situations, what I would say is people who are wherever you are very happy. You've reached the pinnacle of your evolution, perhaps. I am more power to you for that. But then I would still say, teaching someone to fish never hurt a bit. So please do that.
In fact, the similar thing, Grant Cardone, the real
Yep,
estate guru, he appeared on some TV series which was about the same thing.
Discovery
Went-
Channel.
Went into some town where nobody knew him.
With
that
new
he's Grant,
identity,
with a
nobody
new
knows him.
identity, and from there he made his first million.
Wow.
He showed it to everyone.
So the
that, hey,
guests who were a part of this show were given a stipulated time frame, 30 days or 60 days, and they had to make their first million. And he did it. He's a hustler actually, and there are a lot of shit going around Grant Cardone also legally,
True,
and a lot of. You should watch his
he's-
podcast with Jordan
correct.
Belfort.
Belfort.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he has a book called the 10x Rule. So that's
Correct,
another great
10x rule.
resource.
Wow.
And the other day I was just going through shorts on YouTube, and there was this video of his where he's on a stage addressing the crowd, and he's like, I met a person, and he told me like, hey Grant, this book of yours, it has a lot of spelling mistakes. So he's like, so what? And he's like, no dude, I mean, it has so many spelling mistakes. And I was like, so what? It has grammar mistakes too. So he was like, yeah, that doesn't make you look good. What the fucker, it's a bestseller. I couldn't care less.
There's an interesting story about that book also. He wrote a book already, and he was not allowed to write like a something happened. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's like, okay, I'm gonna write a booklet. So he did that wordplay, dodged a contract or something like that, and
Yeah.
that's the 10x rule.
Okay. Then,
It's like a very thin book.
Okay.
It's a very quick read. So people who are into reading, just go for it. You'll finish it in a day. But the concepts to actualize it and put it into habit is a journey.
So
Yeah.
you guys reminded me of that funny thing which people say, the sticks and stones may break my bone, but there's something definitely to offend people.
Yeah.
That's one less edit for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
And what happens is like when you consume a lot of podcasts or content, you often find words for your emotions. Like in love with the process. How did I come across this word? I was already doing it, but I couldn't term it, right? I couldn't convey it better. So Gary Vee, he is the one who always is like, he's big on processing. He always says that he's in love with the process. So now I get to use that too, not as a fake term basically, but yeah, I actually believe.
So what I would correlate here is you can always have certain Dronacharyas to your eklavya. You need not be in the same room as them, but you can certainly take inspiration from their books, from their podcasts, from their speeches, from their reels, if you may, if you can consume that.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
there is gold out there to consume.
being inspired has never
Absolutely.
been so accessible to humanity.
Absolutely. For those who don't understand Dronacharya and Eklavya can certainly Google. It's a good one to know. So yep, that's that, and maybe the natural course which we are trying to sort of come to finally
Take
coming
two.
to that. Take
We had that
Take
initial laugh.
100.
We had that initial laugh when we said hard times create
hard.
strong men.
Men.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, bad
Yep.
boy.
But then again, we didn't expect this to sort of come out to be such beautiful sort of a podcast. But I mean, amazing set of both of you, really adding tons of gold, diamond, and everything to it. But for the listeners who have sticked along till now, you guys are amazing. Thank you for sticking along and sort of supporting the whole podcast. With this, I will come towards the end of it and sort of try and leave you with this beautiful track. And this is our way of thanking you guys. And you guys are amazing. And this is me, Mr. V, signing off.
Baby Chan signing off.
And Mr. Wow Fresh and Desi Labs. Okay, this is Varun signing off. God damn it.
Damn it. And you guys are amazing. Cheers.
Ta-da. And cut.
You just heard the VAbE podcast. And this is us signing off. Leaving you all with a beautiful track. Music credits in the description below. Find us on the major platforms. by Google, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Links in the description. Show us some love in the comments below. And do tell us what you love about our thoughts. This is us signing off yet again. Peace.
Wonder where I've been for all these weeks and months. Try to begin by breathing from my lungs. And every time I search a reason in this world, I'm struck by your words and everything you've heard. I'm faking my life for everyone to see. There's nothing wrong with me. When you found out I messed, I'm about to drown. I'm stunned you've stuck around. Can't stop staring at you. Can't help myself falling for you. You sit in front of me with your blue-ribbed jeans, glowing all night by this candlelight, and everyone's asleep in this crowded town. Feels like I'm falling again in love. I'm faking my life for everyone to see. There's nothing wrong with me. When you found out I messed, I'm about to drown. I'm stunned you've stuck around. Stop staring at you. Can't help myself falling for you. The worst is yet to come. I know you'll be around, standing by my side all through the night. May not be the perfect entity, I promise I'll be there to carry your dreams. Oh, to carry your dreams. Stop staring at you. Ooh, can't help myself falling for you. Ooh, can't stop staring. I'm falling for you.